Way. Come on, StreamYards. Are we live? We're early, by the way, folks. Can you believe it? We're 3 minutes early. 3 minutes early, and nobody knows we're here. Yowza. Hello, viewer. Today, it is Saturday, February 24. 24. Wow. I am Mr. Brune, where it says there, Captain Spock, and I trust you are all doing very well today. It has been a while since we did a live stream, other than the Hollywood shite, but a movie review it is, folks. And what a movie to talk about. Yes. Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, 1991, starring William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, DeForest Kelly, and directed by Nicolas Meyer. A movie that was the final outing for the original Star Trek cast, made with a modest budget of 30 million, that's 30 million US dollars, and returning a worldwide gross of $97 million, 97, from its theatrical run. 1 hour, 50 minutes of quality Star Trek, folks. It's been a while since we've had quality Star Trek. Been a while. But, and it's a big but, enough of my wittering on, especially reading the shitty scripts. So, as I always say, if you've not shut down for the evening, shall we get those guests out? You know it. Let's do it. I'm drooling. If I speak too much, I start to drool. Oh dear. Okay, let's do it, folks. Here we go. First, he is the #1 YouTube supermod, Melvin Deeply. Hello there. Hello.
Greetings.
Hello. How are you?
Greetings, Brune.
Hello. How are you?
You know I'm always good. How many times? You don't believe me, do you? You think I'm
I
making it up?
don't. No, I'm going to try and catch you out one day.
Yeah,
Looking
one day
forward to
you.
this.
I don't think I've seen this film. Is this the one with Jack Vader?
I don't know. Is it?
Oh, I don't know. I'm making it up
I'm
as I go along.
confused. I'm confused.
Yes, I'm looking forward to this. I've watched the film today, and then I watched an extra hour on top of that, and I watched 3 making of documentaries as well. So I'm ready.
Wow.
I'm armed. I'm ready for
I
business.
will. I'll say Smylexx. Do you want to come on, mate? This one's for you, Melvin.
I feel special.
Moving on. Great to have you on, mate. Shall we get the next peep out?
Only if it's one of the good ones.
End of stream, everybody. Okay. Here we go. Next, the backbone of the channel is, well, it is Professor Artoo and Boomerang. Hello there.
Guess who's coming to dinner?
Don't know.
No.
Who?
Greetings, Brune. Hello, everyone.
Hello, my friend. How are
So
you
excited.
doing?
So excited to get to
Hola.
talk about something we love for once, instead of just prattling on about things we just can't
Hate.
take anymore.
Stuff that grinds you down,
Oh,
folks.
yes. No, we get to talk about something great this evening. So
More than
thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure, my friend. It's more than great. Could Prof, could you send Smylexx a link, please?
Oh, I might could do that.
Oh, nice one. It's great to have you on, Prof. I can't speak, but it's great to have you on, mate. Should we get this peep out?
Yes, I think we should. I don't think we got enough people here yet, so yeah.
All the way from Mongo City. All hail, Emperor Godwin.
Only top of the line models can speak. Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. Show me something good. Show me something good.
Wow, I can't believe the enthusiasm for
Oh,
this.
yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Get some. Get some.
Makes a change
Get
to
it up, yeah.
talk about something we like.
Oh,
There's
hell
a
yes.
novelty.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
such a great story. I mean, again, doing common, popular politics at the time relevantly, and
Very
yet
well,
still
yes.
be done very subtly and intelligently.
Yeah,
How
for not much
unusual.
money. Yeah, for not much money as well. Yeah. Great to have you on, my friend. Shall we get the next peep out? Not the last one for now,
Absolutely.
hopefully, but it says here, and last but by no means least, he is the wise elder of the channel. You know the rest. He's a great mega geek himself. Ian David Diaz.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello, everybody. Hello. Oh,
You're right, bud.
wait a moment. Aren't you a bit? Because there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us.
Smylexx is
sixth
hopefully
person?
on his way. Yes, there's a
Oh.
otter transporting in.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm all
So-
right. How's everybody?
Well, here you go. They're coming in. Look,
Oh, God Almighty.
it's just amazing.
Thank you, Black Lives, Black Knives. Who's this? It's a new fella. Who's this one?
Duke.
Duke spins.
Yeah, Duke's been around. a
Oh,
bit,
is he? Oh.
Yeah.
Duke.
Nice Golgo 13 avatar there. Lovely.
Tis shit.
Nice, man.
It is.
Excellent.
But not tonight.
Not tonight. Nope.
You looking forward to this one, Ian?
Yeah, I love this film. Lord knows how far we're going to get into the film, but hey, we'll find
Well, it's
out.
going to be Act 1, folks. As I said,
Act
we're going
one.
to take out anything that's a new rule. Anything that's good, we take our time. If that's okay. Plus, I've got a plan as well.
Plan of action.
Plan.
I love
think-
it when a plan comes together. Yeah.
All right, Hannibal.
3 weeks, and then it'll lead us in nicely to the Matrix, I think.
The
Yes.
Matrix.
Okay. So it's great to have you on, Ian. Shall we get the last?
Yeah, let's
Person
get
out.
out. Let's get out. Yes.
Okay. And last but by no means least, he is the wise otter of the channel. You know the rest. He's the great otter himself. It's Ian David Smylexx.
It's shit.
Shit. Shit.
Oh,
Hello,
Hi, bud.
Smylexx.
How you doing?
This is a surprise. Yes, I'm very well, thank you. Good to be amongst all of the best members of the crew. This is definitely the A team tonight.
Brucey bonus there, mate.
Absolutely, yeah. Bring it on. I actually watched this film just this afternoon, so I'm actually prepared, despite the fact
Yeah.
that this was a surprise.
Here you go, folks. Black lives or black knives. It's utter shit. It is.
It is now. Yeah, sorry.
Moto. I'm predict. I can't speak. 7 streams. No, we're going to try and do
Nope.
3.
Is so we're all Trek fans here, right?
Platoon and Vex aren't though.
Oh, I see.
Sorry, my friend.
yes. Big Trek fan.
You're going in. We are, yes.
Good.
Are you?
Just want to know. Yeah, of course. Of course, I'm a Trek fan.
You sure?
Are you a Trek fan all the way through, or do you sort of specialize in 1 or 2 series over all the movies?
Well, I got to admit, I've watched all the '60s episodes. I've watched in Generations, watched the
Nice.
movies, but I haven't watched all of Deep Space Nine or
Same here.
or Voyager.
Hmm.
And I'm going through Enterprise now, which I'm
Yeah.
really liking. So,
I think
yeah.
you're about the same as me then. That's about
Yeah.
where I am. I like
Mm.
60s Trek and Next Gen and obviously the movies.
Here you go, folks. Dr. Heisman, question. How many Smylexx can you fit in your trousers at a time? All of them.
Oh yeah,
probably.
Mr. Brown. That's that comes on the back of a clip that we showed on B-sides this morning. It was a
Oh,
clip from
plug.
I think it was a clip from maybe Look North or something like that, where a man from probably Wakefield was shoving ferrets down his pants.
Oh, I know the one.
That
Yeah,
used to be
absolutely, yeah.
that used to be a big thing in the 70s.
Shoving
I'm not
ferrets down your
joking.
pants.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
I know,
ferrets in your
yeah.
pants.
I just
Yeah.
knew that you'd know it.
Yeah.
Not joking. It used to be a
Okay.
thing.
So it's great to have you on, chaps.
Yeah.
Shall we say good evening, chats? I've done it already, but good evening, chats.
Evening chat.
Okay. I'll get some graphics up, yeah.
Yeah. Cry havoc and let's slip the otters of war.
Okay. It's been a while since we've done a volume, folks, but it's number 184. Can you believe it?
Are you kidding?
I struggled long and hard what to call the streams, but I just thought review. Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. Captain there, folks.
Well, you came close to being spicy with that.
Yeah.
If Shatner was a little more to the right, that really could have been problematic.
Yes, I know. Please like, share, subscribe, and donate the channel if you're feeling generous. Okay. What I will do first is do a little bit of data, as it were. Okay, so Star Trek 6, Undiscovered Country. Release date, US, December 6, 1991. UK was February 14th on Valentine's Day, 1992.
Wow.
Story,
Yeah.
I think I went on the 15th because I remember going to see it on the Saturday when I was living in Wolverhampton and I was being a student. Story by Leonard, Nimoy, Lawrence Connor, Mark Rosenthal. Screenplay by Nicolas Meyer. Is it Denny Martin Finn?
Yes. Denny Martin. Yeah.
Yeah, based on characters written by Gene Roddenberry, produced by Brooke Breton, Marty Horstein, Stephen Charles Jaffe, Leonard Nimoy, Ralph Winter, music by Cliff Adelman. Is it Aidman? Aidman?
Eidelman.
Yeah. The synopsis: on the eve of retirement, Kirk and McCoy are charged with assassinating the Klingon High Chancellor and imprisoned. The Enterprise crew must help them escape to thwart a conspiracy aimed at sabotaging. See what I did there? The last best hope for peace. Okay.
Yeah.
So, who would like to go first? Initial thoughts, folks.
I can give a little more background of the pre-production and stuff. I was kind of mentioning to everybody.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
I was mentioning to everybody kind of back in the green room that I had actually read a few things. In fact, I had the memoir from Nick Meyer where he talks about many of his different films. So I went back to that and read that chapter, kind of just refurbishing my memory on, refreshing my memory on what he had to say about it. And I read a few other things too. Early on in the production, it was offered to Nick Meyer to write. He actually wasn't sure he was going to direct, but it was kind of offered to him to write, and he wasn't sure where to go with it. He did work closely with Nimoy early on, and Nimoy was the one that gave him the idea to work on the story of basically making it the fall of the USSR. And so they worked sort of together to get started on that, and then he sort of ran with it. Denny Martin was his longtime assistant in Hollywood. He was living overseas at the time, and he brought him in partly because he was suffering from cancer at the time, and he wanted to make sure Denny had support. He had the money that he needed to take care of that. But they essentially wrote the script over early email because he was overseas. And so they were sending things back and forth between each other while they wrote that. But a little bit of studio background. Paramount was a little not excited about making another Star Trek film after the previous outing. Star Trek 5 had been kind of a disaster. Not only had it been one of the most expensive at that point, as far as its budget. It had also not really made its money back, and so they didn't really want to make another one. However, the head of the studio at the time, Frank Mancuso, was a Star Trek fan, and he did not want to see the original crew go out on a low note. Right, he really wanted to see
Nice.
a big film, and also they knew that they wanted something in the theaters for the 25th anniversary of Star Trek.
Yeah, because this was on the 25th, folks.
Yeah. So there were actually a few things that happened before Nick Meyer was brought on. You might know Harv Bennett, who helped with the previous films. Harv Bennett spent months working on a treatment for what was to be Star Trek VI that would have been a prequel starring younger actors that he entitled The Academy Years.
Yeah, it was The Academy, wasn't it?
Yeah, and his idea was basically it was supposed to be Top Gun in space.
What?
And it would have younger characters in it. He, of course, was not told that they were never going to take his script. They were never interested in it. And he was quite upset about that. And along with a bunch of other things that were going on at Paramount
Was that why
at
he
the
left?
time. Yeah, among a bunch of other reasons, it was one of the reasons that he ended up leaving. Before the production of Star Trek VI. There was also rumored to have been a script written by Walter Koenig that he turned in that would have had all of the main characters would have been forcibly retired because they were too old and couldn't pass their physicals. So they had all moved on to other jobs except for Spock, who was now the captain of the Enterprise. And there's some craziness. They go off and battle some robot planet or something. And they all have to come back to save Spock and the rest of the crew. And everyone but Spock and McCoy were killed off.
What?
Yeah, I'm not sure why he thought that would fly. So yeah, the final script, did come together. Nimoy gave Meyer the idea to start working on something with the USSR, which is kind of amusing because his movie previous to Star Trek VI had also been sort of an allegory for the Cold War and the fall of the USSR. And his script was not particularly liked by Gene Roddenberry. Same as with Star Trek II. It had a lot of militaristic and naval overtones in the film. And there's also, as we'll see, a fair bit of bigotry and some jingoistic stuff in it that he was extremely upset by. In fact, forced a reading of the script line by line in front of some of the different producers because he was so upset about it, and basically challenged Meyer on every single line there was. So yeah, there was a bunch of really interesting things that happened in the background before the film came out. Its total budget was actually originally offered to Meyer was 30, and then they revised that down to 27. And he basically told them in numbers and cents, there's no way I can make this movie for 27. I need those extra $3 million. And he fought with him so much that in fact the movie was briefly canceled. Until the studio exec, Frank Mancuso, was fired from his job, part of all the mess that was going on at Paramount, and the new head that came on renewed the film and gave him the money that he needed to make the film. So anyway, yeah, there was a bunch of stuff that happened early on that was kind of crazy. But
wow.
Yeah,
Sounds like you were there.
Yeah, that's everything I was going to say. That's all the information I think.
well, all right.
Everybody.
Thanks for coming, Melvin.
Come on, everybody.
Go on.
Okay,
I'm going
we'll
to
see you
crumple
next
up a
week,
bit of
everybody.
paper now and throw it in the bin.
Yeah, we'll see you next week, everybody. Okay, so Melvin, initial thoughts.
Initial thoughts. I don't have a story about this one. I've seen it in the Forge in Parkhead in Glasgow, and that's it. I think this is the best of the Star Trek movies. I think this and Wrath of Khan, of course, both directed by the same guy.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because Wrath of Khan was my favorite for years, but I think I'm putting this one ahead just because it gave them a good ending. It gave them the ending they needed. It was basically not a scene was wasted in this film, was it? Every scene was a part of the story. Yeah, it was a great movie. Great, fantastic. Going with snippets of information, apparently that Roddenberry seen an almost completed version of the film and hated it. And he demanded that
What?
25% of the scenes be cut. And he got in a heated argument with Meyer, and then he died of a heart attack a couple of days later. And
Yep.
Meyer kind of felt guilty about it, and that's why the film is dedicated to Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah, right at the beginning. Okay.
Yeah, he was very, very ill at the time.
Yeah.
It was never quite diagnosed what was going on, but his son, his family seems to think he was having little repeated strokes, and it was just repeatedly
Yeah,
damaging
didn't-
his health. But yeah, after he saw the final cut of the film, he died 3 days later. Yeah.
Christ. Smylexx, initial thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing this in the cinema. It got shown at the ABC Canon in Leeds.
Oh, good
And,
old days.
Yeah, where all Paramount Pictures tended to go. I think it's definitely my top three, without a doubt. I like this, the like Wrath of Khan and the original motion picture. I think all three of them are probably the best written of the lot. I think there's a great attention to detail in the writing in this. I think that it's a little bit uneven here and there, and they could have probably squeezed a couple. If they had a couple more million, maybe there's a few of those effect shots which are a little bit sort of suspicious, haven't aged that well.
Reused shots.
Reused shots and very blobby blood, which I don't really understand why they really felt the need to do it, but there you go. But yeah, overall, I think this is an excellent film, and I really enjoyed rewatching it again today. It brought back some good memories. I haven't watched it for a good 5 or 6 years.
The blobby blood. Blobby happened because of Terminator liquid metal effects.
Right, yeah.
Emperor?
I love this movie. I think this is second for me. Wrath of Khan will always be number one for me. There are parts of it that drag a bit. The prison stuff is not nearly as compelling as the rest of it, but I still tolerate it. Yeah, the CG blood is pretty laughable. It was pretty laughable even at the time.
Was it?
It was, yeah. I remember that.
Really?
I remember being in the cinema thinking the same. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, oh no, that's. Did you
Okay.
not have enough money? But I think the little bits in Smylexx is right. The writing on this is very good. The setup of the mystery of what's going on, who's involved. There's little hints and it pays off well. I love the idea of the Klingons appropriating Shakespeare for themselves.
Yeah.
And it fits. I mean, you read a lot of the old Shakespeare and you're like, no, I mean, like I can absolutely see where they would see their culture reflected in Henry V or things like that. And so, him, the general constantly making the Shakespeare quotes, I just love. And again, that's a callback to the original series where there was so much mention of Shakespeare, and you had Melville being referenced in Wrath of Khan. So it's just great writing. It's something you don't experience with modern media.
Didn't Meyer was in charge of that, and he called it the classics. And wasn't there an in joke in Star Trek 4 as well about it on the bus when Kirk says, Spock says something about the classics. That was a little in joke about Meyer doing.
Oh
this.
yeah,
About how I was
Yeah.
referencing
Yeah.
The Giants.
Yes.
It says the
yeah,
Giants.
that's right.
Prof, initial thoughts?
Well, this was one that I actually did get to see in the theaters. I did not get to see it on premiere day. I was still in school, so I did not get to go on Friday to go see
Jeez.
this. But no, I did go the following day. When on Saturday, I tried to wrangle up a few of my friends. None of them could go, so I went to see it on my own. And I sat in the best possible seats in the theater for a matinee, and I just loved it. Just incredible film. Yes, there are absolutely some things that could have been done better. I'm sure we'll get to talk about some of them later. There's the blood. We'll get to the blood later on. But the story is just so well written. All of the actors get an opportunity to shine, I feel like, in this film. So many of them get an opportunity to really, really step up and have a real role in the film. There's a few that don't get as much time. Takei and Nichols in particular, I feel like didn't get a lot, but Takei finally got his captain's seat. So he was happy. But yeah, it's a really good film. I really enjoy it. If I were going to rank them, like I said in the green room, depends on the day you ask me. This might be number 1 or number 2, but it is really just a fantastic film, and I enjoy watching it. Watched it again this afternoon. Great film.
Ian?
He's muted.
He's muted. Well, while he's coming back. Oh, there he is.
Hi.
Yeah, sorry.
Hello, Ian.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? Everybody else has said what I was about to say. The thing I like about this film is that it's very okay. Like, if you go back to the last film directed by William Shatner, he literally saw the film as action, a little bit of Star Wars, and a little try and touch on the characters so you can feel for the characters, didn't he, William Shatner? But William Shatner approached Star Trek in the worst way possible, because that's not what Star Trek is. And I think Leonard Nimoy and Nick Meyer and the rest of them approached this Star Trek the way it should be, because Star Trek's always been about certain things that happen in the real world, and this was one of them. And it was a great idea for a story. The performances were terrific. I didn't mind the floating wobbly blood. I didn't mind
No,
it
I
at all.
didn't
Nobody
either.
laughed in the cinema when it was floating around or anything like that. I thought it was I thought it worked for its time. And there are some effects that don't work, and the prison thing I didn't mind either. I thought it was a lot of fun, especially when he kicked the monster in the knee, and that was quite funny. I just thought the film was really enjoyable. And do you know what it sets it apart is the fact that they have scenes in it, right, where you're not firing lasers, the ships are not crashing into each other. Especially the scene where they find out that Kim Cattrall's character has been
Betrayed
in the whole thing. And remember, they're on the bridge, and then Spock really mind meld on her and stuff. That was very moving. I mean, that was very well performed as well, and you could see that Spock didn't want to do it, but he had to. And you can see Kirk didn't give a shit. He was like, names. I want names. He's like, where is it happening? He was demanding and stuff like that. So just in that scene alone is so beautifully played and so beautifully shot.
Yeah.
And also another thing, I watched this, was it yesterday? Was it the day before? This on my 4K version of it. And it just looks beautiful. The blues, the reds, especially the beginning scene with Sulu drinking his tea and stuff like that. The star field. Yeah, you can see the matte lines around some of the ships, but so what? Do you know what I mean? It's again, right? I would say this film is worth watching, and it's a proper Star Trek movie, and it's worth every praise we're going to give it tonight. That's what I say. So there you go,
folks.
Great.
Okay,
it's not shit.
It's not shit.
It is
not shit, everybody. There's a first. It's not shit.
It's not
okay.
shit.
Right. As we said, we're doing Act 1. There are subtitles, so we can kind of follow what's going on. We'll try and go through them at a reasonably decent
Sorry,
speed.
another thing. Is this the first one that actually used real viewer screens? Anybody?
Oh, with
No comment.
So it wasn't an effect, was it? Like when we're looking at the screen, because that's definitely like a big TV screen, isn't it? Especially on Sulu shot.
like
the
monitors, or
Yeah,
even
we might find out actually. Yeah, okay.
When he was talking to when he goes, do you need any assistance? And the guy says, stay away from the treaty line or whatever it was. That's all projected on the screen. You can see that wasn't comped on the screen.
They did.
Right.
I think they did that in both 5 and 6. They used
Some was comped. Some was comped.
Yeah, the bit where some was comped, but majority of it was a big view screen, weren't it? I think.
We've got a mighty super chat coming in.
Oh my.
Common people.
Oh, common people for £50. That's real money, folks. As my old dad used to say, I want to sleep with common people. I want to sleep with common people like you. Kind of made the rest of the funeral awkward, but it did.
Brilliant.
Thank you,
common
my
people.
friend. Thank you, my friend.
Thank
Oh,
you.
just beyond generous. Thank you, my friend. Okay, should we do it then?
Absolutely.
Do it.
Engage.
Okay, so we'll try and just proceed at a reasonable pace. As I said, I kept all the subtitles on so we know what we're doing because I think it works better that way.
Mm.
So there you go. For Gene,
The score in this is quite good.
yes.
It's because it's not one of the usual people that you expect to see on the score. It's not James Horner or a Jerry Goldsmith, and it's got a different feel to it. It's more like a sort of a Wagnerian kind of Holsty
Yes.
sort of it's that kind of broiling sort of feel to it, which gives it a different feel to the other films. I think it gives it a better heavyweight feel.
Yeah, as Meyer kind of used Holst as his temp score of the planets, which is pretty common.
Yeah, you can
It was a
tell
Star
you
Wars
can
thing.
tell the
Yep.
theme.
Yeah, but the score was written by Cliff Eidelman,
Yeah,
who
there you go.
was definitely a newcomer. He was really young. He had only done I think he had done
Yeah.
8 or 9 scores
Yeah,
before
I think
this.
he was really young. Yeah, yeah.
And he was very young. He said he looked like a 6 foot tall Jewish Jimmy Stewart, is what they said. But he met with Meyer on trying to do something. He went through a whole bunch of different people to see if they could write the score, and he wasn't happy with any of them. And Cliff and him just got along immediately. He played some Holtz tracks, some Stravinsky, and you can hear all of that in the score.
Oh,
And
yeah,
it's a
great.
fantastic score. It's one of my favorite from all of the Star Trek films. It's fantastic.
I think watching it today was the first time I'd actually really started to think about the score. I've watched this film a dozen times, and it just never really. I don't know why before it's never really stood out, but perhaps just because I was watching it with a bit more of an analytical thing. But yeah, it's great.
Well, for me, I think the score was quite poor, actually, personally. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't really hum the theme. And I know it's a very different film from the ones James Horner did, but I would prefer if James Horner did the music for this film, or Jerry Goldsmith. They're top of the line as far as I'm concerned. But it wasn't.
They are.
Yeah, they are.
But it worked on this.
Yeah, the score didn't take me out of it, though. Do you know what I mean? But it was very nonplussed. It was very much in the background music. If you
listen to this film on good headphones, it's a good score.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think Cliff ran into some issues with his career. Since this film, he's mostly scored family dramas and chick flicks. So,
apparently, Jerry Goldsmith turned it down.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
really?
It wouldn't pay me.
Yeah, and they couldn't afford James Horner.
No,
and Eidelman was the best they could do for the money.
Yep.
Yeah,
because it was unknown. It was unknown, but I don't think he'd done a bad job. It wasn't that bad. It could have been a lot worse for the money. It could have been a lot worse.
It gives the film. It just gives the film a bit of difference in character to some of the other ones previously to it. I know what you're saying, Mega Geek. I know it doesn't really, sure, we'd have all probably liked one with a bit of a brassier section with more heroic sort of themes through it. But I think because of the nature of this story, it's kind of like a bottle episode of Trek in some respects. It's a little bit more low key, and I think that's the reason I think that it works so well. It's because it doesn't need a lot of those big, massive, bombastic moments as that some of the others do.
It is a good score, but it's no Star Trek 4.
Yeah, but the Star Trek 4 music was terrible as far as I'm concerned.
It's like Home Alone or something. It's like sort of Christmassy or something.
Okay,
yeah.
So
this has the score of it sounds there's like a spy thriller kind of feel to the music, unlike a lot of other ones where there's going to be big things happening. The music really does kind of set for the story and put you in the mood for what you're going to see.
Praxis effects, everybody. I don't think any of us had ever seen anything like this.
ILM.
Well, I've got something on this. Apparently, this special effect here, which is now known as the Praxis effect, was originally used in Alien in 1979.
Ah, right.
Oh
And it
yeah,
was
when the
in-
Nostromo
yeah.
blows
Yep,
up.
there's a
Yeah.
variation of it. Yep,
Oh,
used there.
okay.
And then
It
of
was
course
in
they use it
some other
again.
stuff. but
George
it's
nicked it, didn't he?
probably best known to us for being the effect that they added to the Death Star when they
Yeah,
revamped Star
the
Wars.
special editions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will say, I think it's the version I got was the Blu-ray remastered.
Yeah. It's probably the
So-
theatrical, but we'll know eventually.
Okay.
Apparently, also they used a similar effect in Star Trek: The Motion Picture for Vader.
Oh
Yeah,
when it
similar.
goes
Right
to
at the
the
end. Yeah,
end.
similar. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
at the
yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Less two-dimensional, I think,
Mhm.
with
Okay.
V'ger blown up. But
So that's Praxis going up. So this is where we start.
You can tell he's
That's-
American. He hasn't got any milk in that tea. God's sake.
Base
What's that all
Chernobyl.
about? Jesus.
Yeah, it should be the color of He-Man's face. What's he thinking? That's what we do in this country. It's He-Man's face or nothing.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not green, so it's not Japanese.
Okay, so star dates. I think they were doing, was it 6 months of gaseous anomalies?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yep.
I've had that kind of problem before.
yeah, that was. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I shouldn't have
That
had that
was
burrito before.
Yeah.
Am I
Okay.
mistaken? But did they have that beehive girl as one of her as one of his in the original Star Trek, the girl with the beehive, blonde hair? In the
Yes,
60s Star Trek?
it's yes, that is
What's her name?
that's
Jill Barrett.
no Grace Lee
Yeoman
Whitney.
Rand.
Oh
Yeoman
yes,
Whitney.
yes,
Grace
yeah.
Lee
Sorry, yeah, you're
Whitney.
right.
Yeah,
See,
she's
you
the
go.
comms officer. Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
in
gotcha.
this episode.
Gotcha.
She appeared in a whole bunch of the films and little bits here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, the only one of the original cast that's really not here is Majel Barrett
Mm.
Roddenberry.
Mhm.
She was
She's
not in
probably
any of the
looking
films
after-
except 4 and
Yeah.
1.
I tell you what, guys, looking at this ship on 4K, I just fell in love with it. I'm
Oh,
like,
it's
I've got to
amazing.
get one of them. Got to get a
nice.
toy.
It's a nice
Yeah.
ship.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Here you go, Jim D. Is Tuvok on that ship? That's a good question.
Canonically, yes.
Yes. He's in the
In
background.
this movie, no.
No.
He is on the Enterprise B, but he's not too
Are we doing a drinking game? I think any kind of. I'm going to do a drinking game, folks. Any beauty shot of anything, like it's a drink. So I think that's a drink.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
So we'll be
Look at
drinking
that.
when Kim Cattrall comes on then.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Pretty
Yes,
continuous.
yes.
Yeah.
She helped me through some tough times in my childhood, my teenage years.
I am.
Well done to her.
Obviously, it's the refit for me, but that does.
Mhm.
That's a great looking
It's
ship.
fantastic, isn't it?
Yes.
How,
just
how good
love
is that,
it.
folks?
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I want one.
Yeah.
Here you go, folks. Atom Gray. Drinking is not a game.
Cheers to us.
It's a fantastic ship.
It's
It
a way
is.
of life.
Great on the remastered version. Look,
Yes,
really
it does.
great.
Yeah.
And of course, George Takei finally got his command. He had
Oh
been
Well,
my.
You know why, don't you?
yes. Well, he wasn't going to come back for the film unless he did.
That's right. And also, he didn't want to mix with Shatner.
Yep. He didn't want
Oh,
to.
is that what it was?
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons he was so frequently begging to be his own captain on his own ship.
Yeah.
He didn't
Oh
want to have to
my.
be on the set with Shatner.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is a be careful what you wish for because
Yeah.
you're only in this thing for like
Yep.
2 minutes.
Well, there was deleted audio from Star Trek. Was it Star Trek 2 where it references him being the captain of a new ship?
Yes. Yeah. There was some
Well, they
deleted
changed
audio
it.
that
Yeah,
some shots that were done at
Yeah.
the end
In the
where
shuttle.
he was going to be. I believe, or maybe it was referenced in novels. I don't remember, but yeah, there was something where he was going to be captain of the Excelsior
Mm.
originally in
Yes.
Star Trek 3, and then everything was
changed it.
rewritten, and then that other guy got it. Styles, is that his
Yeah.
name?
Yeah.
And supposedly it's in the book. I think the novelization of Star Trek 3. That part of why Uhura stays behind is to help delay any response, block any communications, and also to get back at Styles for stealing Sulu's command.
Also, notice how beautiful and how simple that set is. the Excelsior bridge sets. Look how beautiful it is. The blues, the greens,
It's lovely.
right? It's not complicated. It's not too much like the stupid ones they do now on TV. It's just simple. Your eyes can look at it and admire the beauty and the structure of the whole thing. It's
It's not busy, is it?
No, it's not.
The sets are quite busy on the new ones. So your eyes are looking all over the place.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like the Apple Store anymore.
No.
No.
Yeah,
And your eyes focus on things that you need to focus on, like Sulu and stuff. So yeah, it's cool.
And this set is the bridge that's also used for the Enterprise in this.
Yes, it is.
In this
Yes.
film.
Yeah.
It's just sort of
Saving money.
reconfigured. It's in pieces, but they did have to completely remake the bridge set for this film. The one that had been made before had been stored somewhere, and it had been damaged by weather. And they had to basically just rebuild the whole set. So they made it a modular thing, and then it continued to show up in numerous episodes of Star Trek on television.
Voyager, blah, blah,
I
blah.
do believe that they actually shook the set on this one. So it wasn't camera shakes. It was the set.
Oh, it was on it.
actually-
Was it on a
actually
gimbal?
shaking, yeah, on this scene. So that's cool, I guess.
Because a big shockwave coming in.
Yeah.
You can see the shockwave in the monitor on the background just above the.
What a great scene. Oh no. Bloody hell. Who's going to clean that up?
Crockery's broken, everybody.
When we were watching this, and my wife was watching with me. She says, "Oh, hey, it's a good thing they don't have carpet like all the other shows." Oh,
Yeah.
This would have been. Was this CGI? This bit?
Yes,
Yes, it was.
it's beautiful too. It looks really
Yeah.
good.
Mm.
Looks really
This
good.
is the shockwave coming in, folks,
Yeah.
from the exploding Praxis.
It's a shame
Oh, this-
Sulu didn't get his own series though, because I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah, it was quite good on this
Yeah.
this film. He did actually sort of have a little bit
look
of
at
a
that.
commanding sort of ability, didn't he?
It did, yeah, it did,
I
yeah.
love it when I go look at that and I look at the chat and they go, look at that.
Everyone's already doing it.
But you know what, right?
Look at that.
That design must be redone
Look at
because
that.
if you look at the original one in Star Trek 3, it was far more chunkier than that. This one looks more sleeker. I don't know what you guys think. No.
Pass.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they really
Maybe.
made too many changes to it.
It
But
looks
yeah,
sleeker.
there might have been some stuff. I know a lot of these models had to be refurbished on a regular basis, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
might even
yeah.
just
Bigger
be a
folks.
paint job.
Princess Fiona, you really do need to come on one of these. The Praxis effect was a $3,000 plugin for 3D Studio Max at one point.
Oh, cool.
They did a good job.
They did a great job.
Shields!
Yeah.
Turn her into the wave.
Yeah. Aye. Can you put track 1 on for us, please? Looks like a tape deck, doesn't it? He's pushing those
Yeah.
buttons.
Of course, the wave blasting out in only 2 dimensions across the galactic plane or whatever, and then actually
Yes.
impacting a starship some many light years away is rather silly, but still very interesting. Yeah,
But it looks good, though.
it does.
Yeah. I mean, these films have always been a bit sort of like naval stories in space, really. So
Yes, they are.
you take a little bit of a
Are you saying that it
Rick-
suggests two-dimensional thinking?
Yeah.
yes, I am.
Hit by a rogue wave.
Or sleeping on a job. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, carry on.
Is the direction very good? It looks really good for me.
For me, this film was directed very well by Nick Meyer.
Yeah.
There's some really great moments when he moves the camera to express a mood, especially when Kirk goes fire.
Yeah, that's
a
cool,
brilliant bit. Yeah,
Yeah. I like that. You're right. There's some great moments when nothing much is really
that.
happening.
yeah.
I think there's like a reaction to them. Well, we'll get to it, I'm sure. But the reaction to them getting sentenced, and the camera moves around the bridge, getting everybody's reactions back on the bridge.
Yeah.
It's like that's cool. That's a cool shot.
Yeah, there's some
Cross-
really great
cross-country.
shots during the attack on the ship later on during the assassination. Some great shots in there. There's some great shots during the final battle too.
It was Keith. He was there, but not in the film, unfortunately. But he was definitely on Voyager. Yeah, flashback episode.
Keith, we need you back on the channel soon, mate. Okay. I want to say, everybody, look at that.
I love
Look
that
at
ship.
that.
I'm in love
Look
with
at
this ship
that.
now. I'm in love with
Look
it.
at that.
Sorry, I want to marry that ship. quick.
she's a bit tubby around the middle for me.
It is a bit,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, that goes with age, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like you've been married to her for a few years. She's put on some weight.
She started out as 1701, but now, well, not
no,
so much.
no.
Well, then, of course, in the next film, they retool that model to be the Enterprise B.
Yeah. Oh, yes, of course.
Okay, this is where I think I decided, right, I'm going to do the subtitles. It's just easier.
It's Braxis,
So-
sir.
It's a Klingon moon.
Mm.
Not anymore.
Praxis is their key energy production facility. Oh,
This-
thanks for
this
the
is-
audience. Just tell the
Yeah,
audience that. will you?
Yeah, this is, what is it,
Yes.
exposition? It's good,
Yeah,
though, isn't it?
Exposition.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good, though.
Yeah, it's
So,
fine.
energy
It's,
production.
Yeah, it's not like there's lots of it. It's very
No,
it's
yeah.
very succinct. It just gets the information out that
tight.
you need. Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, seriously, look. Can you put up the other frame?
Which
Ian?
one?
This one. Look at that.
Oh,
Right,
sorry.
it's
It's
not busy. You got one big screen behind. You got
It's
several on the
fantastic.
side. It's not busy, and it complements. The set is really well designed, as far as I'm concerned.
Those two guys
Sorry.
behind Sulu there, that you can
Yeah.
obviously tell that one of them is mansplaining to the other one about what's going on that screen.
Exactly. This is a warp nacelle.
See
I'm just
this?
letting you know that. Yeah.
This is a screen.
Yeah, I think so. Ian's right that the one thing you see about this, and you see it with some of the earlier movies as well, is there's a certain functionalism to the way that things are designed, and it's not just eye candy for the sake of
Yeah.
look at the whiz bang.
I think it makes you focus on what's supposed to be focused on, like Sulu, right? So your eyes immediately go to Sulu, but it doesn't go to the back. Like when I was watching, I don't know, that stupid Discovery thing, there was all lights flashing everywhere, and you're
Lucy's on the way,
like,
folks.
yeah.
Yeah. Who cares?
Do you require assistance?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I've confirmed the location of practice, but
I cannot confirm the existence of Praxis.
where have I seen that?
Yeah, he's been in a
Person.
lot of stuff. I can't remember his
Yeah.
name though. Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff.
I think he was in the Voyager episode as well. I'm sure he was.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was featured in that episode.
I think he had less hair as well.
Lieutenant
Great episode.
Valtane, I
Yeah,
believe
great
is his name.
episode. Great episode.
But where is Christian Slater?
Oh, he's later on.
He's,
Oh,
he's in
later.
Act 3.
His
Yeah.
mum was a casting agent, I think, wasn't she?
Yes,
was,
his
yeah,
mother
she
was
was,
the
yeah.
casting director.
Yeah. Funny how he got that part.
Yeah.
This is back projection.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the screen I was talking
Yeah.
about. It's
Yeah,
like
that one
I can-
is.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
great shot.
Kind of
Yeah,
looks like
that's-
Amiga graphics on there, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I think I played that game.
I think I did
So-
too.
You've also got the new kind of consoles inspired from TNG.
Start-
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the
Yeah, those
screen
are
printed.
more or less the same. They just they changed
Just
the
fantastic.
overlay on it. They
Just
changed the
fantastic.
glass overlay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look so good. Those kind of screen printed glass panels.
It's like today they think bigger is better, but it isn't. You know, I mean, it isn't. I mean, the designs in this film is superb in my opinion. It's just so
Oh,
right on
yeah.
for the story. You know. So sorry to keep going on about how well designed it is.
That's cool.
It's good to hear that we are liking something.
Mm. There she is.
Yep.
Beat
Grace
girl.
Lee Whitney. Yet another of the actors that we've lost.
Oh,
in the
no,
film. She
yeah.
passed in 2015 at 85. So
Makes me feel old.
yep.
I love it how we get the transmission of them burning
Yeah.
that they're going to transmit. But
No, well, they must have picked up because he was transmitting to
oh,
the
and
other
then it went out.
Klingons, and they just
Oh,
picked it up. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and then they know, so they just said, "Stay back."
Yeah, this is obviously back projection.
There
Uh,
has
yeah,
been
it's-
incidents.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, mate.
No,
No, I was
no,
just saying. I was just quoting. Yeah, there has been an incident
Mm.
at Chernobyl. I mean, sorry, Praxis.
Praxis.
Sorry.
Do we?
I love
report
this line.
sir?
Are you kidding?
Are you kidding?
Love it. Love it.
That's got to be the stupidest question ever in Star Trek.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Some
We just
nice
keep
Get
it
off
to
my
ourselves.
bridge.
We could just not say anything, and then just go
Yeah.
home and pretend.
How did you-
It'll be fine.
How did you qualify for this post?
Yeah.
So-
Get off
so-
my bridge.
So this is what talking about direction, right? Nick May is a really good director. The next scene,
Look at that,
the way
folks.
he introduces Kirk in the next scene, Kirk just walks into frame, and you know it's Kirk, and then the rest of them walk into frame,
Mhm.
which is really cool.
What are we
Yeah,
doing
that's
here?
just part of director,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, so here in they sort of just walk in. They're clearly all still active
Yeah.
officers in some way or another. In the original script, Meyer and Denny put together, they were having the crew basically in retirement, and so they were going to have to go out and find not only the time but the money to shoot a whole bunch of scenes where they brought everybody back from retirement to be part of this mission. And Sulu was reportedly going to be a taxi driver.
Oh, what?
And
What?
here's the good one. Uhura was a radio call-in show host.
Oh yeah, I
That'd be
read
quite
that. Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
I can
That'd
see
be-
that.
That'd
I
be
can
pretty
see
good.
that.
Well, she was going to be an exotic dancer, but they saw Star Trek 5 and they're like,
Yeah.
nah,
Whoa,
it's not going to
whoa,
work out
let's
for
not do
you.
that.
Better not go there.
Yeah, let's not look at that.
Yeah, but still one, though, right? Still
Mhm.
Oh
one.
yeah.
Okay.
I love how these characters that they had in number 4, they
Mhm.
made them out to be
brought
baddies
that-
because they were really nice in number 4, and suddenly
Yeah.
he's a baddie. Admiral Cartwright, isn't it?
Yes, Cartwright. Yeah.
They don't mess about with the exposition, do they? Bang
No.
straight in.
They get right to it.
Yeah.
That's right.
So even the slow kids at the back know what's going on.
I tried to buy one of those desk lamps there at one point.
Also, I love the introduction of Spock as well because you don't see his face until he gets to the podium.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So, cost praxis has gone up. There's 50 years left. It's to do with the ozone, isn't it?
yeah, thank God they helped the Klingons. Otherwise, we would never have had
Discovery.
no.
Hey.
We
We'd
should have
never
let
had
them
Wolf.
die.
Where are we?
We never had Wolf. Put it that way. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you think, guys, that
This
they
is the
came
shot
up
you
with the
like.
they came
Where's
up with the
Spock?
story? Do you think they came up with the story because they needed to connect it to the next generation because of Worf was part of the Enterprise? Do you think?
Nah, I think it
played
was
into
more
it?
of a. I mean, it could be a negotiation thing behind the scenes that we
Mm.
don't know about. But
Sure.
I get the impression it was just a token little thing for the fans
Nod,
because of
a
course
nod,
yeah,
yeah.
because I mean by that point they would have been on like series 3, I would guess
Sure.
in 91. So
Yeah,
it was it was picking up some momentum. They
Yeah,
were
and you've
confident
already
they were
had-
making more.
You've already had yesterday's Enterprise.
Yeah. So
So that
You know-
explains it because the
Yes.
presumption is that we're still at war with the Klingons for
Yeah.
yesterday's Enterprise, and it's because the Enterprise C sacrifices itself at Kittimer
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
peace happens.
And this does have brilliantly, it's tied back into that canon because at the end of the film, they're at Kittimer. So I mean, imagine that.
God, I love Star Trek.
Canon that actually like connects to each other.
It's almost like these writers had actually seen the previous work and
yeah,
took it
did
seriously.
a little bit
Wow.
of research. Yeah.
Mm.
I would
Imagine
fire them for that, looking at all the previous episodes instead
Totally.
of doing their job.
Oh yeah, that's instant disqualification.
There's
just-
something about this that I'll ask. What do you think? I don't think Spock would have sprung this on Shatner like that, like the character. I think he would have spoke to him beforehand before he volunteered him. What do you reckon?
I think that
Yeah, logically
go ahead.
maybe.
Yeah, go.
Sorry, I was going to say logically, you're right. I think, but of
Mhm.
course, we're talking movie
This is-
logic here, and
yeah.
it makes more fun
Yeah.
to have,
no,
for him to
no,
have an
no.
entrance and
It makes
surprise, I
sense
guess.
because Spock knows that the Klingons are responsible for his son's
His-
death.
Yes.
So he's not going to go in there like a bull in a china shop, is he? And plus the fact that you get the feeling that they've all gone somewhere, for a certain amount of time, and they're all meeting up now. Maybe Spock had gone off to do whatever he's doing to help this, blah blah blah, whatever. So I don't know. You may be right, but I don't know. I think
If
makes
I
sense to
remember-
me.
Yeah, if I remember in the novelization, it's explained basically that he was on a very secret mission, doing these, doing everything that he was doing with the negotiations, and he had literally returned to Earth moments before this meeting. And
Yeah.
so,
Mhm.
yeah.
I think the other thing is that
Mm.
and it comes up on more than a few occasions in in the prior movies, Spock's logical view of things is like, well, there's no other conclusion to come to.
Yeah.
And then he even though he knows his friend very well, it always kind of throws him off when there's an emotional response, and the reason is that he can't assume what humans are going to be emotional about because he's not emotional. So to understand at that level would almost require him to have emotion, and because he's done so much to try and reduce that, so that's why he's a bit shocked when Kirk gets angry.
But also, I think he has a lot of faith in his friend Kirk, because he knows that obviously he's going to fight against it. But in the end, I think Spock has enough faith to know that Kirk will do the right thing. I mean, he's worked with him for so many years.
Yeah.
And I think Spock knows. So Spock challenging him like this is not the first time, is it? Do you know what I mean? So
no, I like to assume that Spock can sees the bigger picture sometimes, and he understands that Kirk lets his emotions sometimes, get in the way of his decision making. So he's probably thinking a little bit further ahead than he is.
Well, and I think he always knows that Kirk will get there, right?
Yeah.
That Kirk is intelligent enough and smart enough that he'll get there. But sometimes the way to get there is confusing and a bit frustrating to Spock, because
he does say to Valera, he says, logic is the first step to being,
So. Well, and we also get a scene later on, I think, that kind of backs up a little bit of what Jay was saying, where the logic sometimes maybe blinds him to other possibilities, because you get a scene much later on in the film where he's literally saying, my logic failed me, but my logic prevented me from seeing who Valeris really was.
Yeah, right.
And so you get some of that later on.
I'll just quickly say, Spock is saying basically the Klingons can't afford.
Yeah. Their enormous military expenditures will no longer allow them to
which is very much a parallel of the USSR at the time.
Yes.
I love Brock Peters, by the way.
Brock Peters, he's fantastic.
He was a good guy, wasn't he? But
yeah, and he's got that Star Wars connection as well. He did the voice of Vader in the radio drama version.
Ah, yes. I wondered if someone would mention that. Yeah,
he plays it with so much more passion than James Earl Jones is brilliant. He's all sinister and he kind of low key, but when he's delivering some of the lines, he's got a bit more anger and violence in that voice. So I've always got a lot of respect for Brock Peters. I like listening to him.
And he's a fantastic actor. No, he passed away in 2005.
Oh, did he really?
78, yeah. He played Cartwright in Star Trek 4, and he played Joseph Sisko in Deep Space Nine.
He's basically saying here that we should just take him out.
Yeah. He's against it.
Yeah.
The opportunity here is to bring them to their knees.
Brock Peters did not like delivering these lines. He did not like how jingoistic they were. He was not happy. And you'll notice there's a number of cuts in there because Meyer had to put together the best bits and pieces of the different times he delivered it, because he did not like these lines at all.
Again, I would say, look at the simplicity of that set.
Yeah,
it doesn't take your eyes off what's important in the frame. As I said, if you look at the last Star Trek movie, the JJ one, where they're having a meeting, everything is so busy. Everything's so busy in the shot, but this is very simple. So again,
I think constraints, force you to be better, right? So So you fade everything into the black because we can't afford to build a full set, and there's all kinds of crap going on in the background.
Well, this is a full set, in my opinion.
Right, but instead of having the lights up and you can see the doors and all of that, right? You bring down all of that because, again, I don't have to be as detailed with the background stuff that I do, and yet it also makes you focus on the actual, the action.
Yeah.
True, and also I think they appreciate that their audience is a little bit more mature, and we can assume that there are things in the darkness that we can't see.
Yeah.
We don't need to have lots of flashy gizmos going off. I'm looking at you,
Thus
JJ.
Blinking lights is not required. Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah, if I'm correct, I think both this and then the scene at the very end at the Kittimer Accords, those are all at a conference center that they used in California. So most of these are just a standing building. They just did some decoration on the interior.
Yeah, very good.
This is where Kirk is just saying Klingons.
Have never been trustworthy. That's what he says.
And Spock is he's saying Captain Kirk is going to be the first
Olive branch. Yeah.
I got smug asshole over there on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how Kirk says. Sorry,
Captain Birdseye.
I love how he says, "I personally vouch for you," and he goes,
You vouch for me.
So I've not seen this in a long time. I'm just doing the slides today. This week.
Mm.
So many things I hadn't noticed before, and lots of little kind of verbal cues of what's coming later.
Yep.
And it's just so well written. Just so
Really is.
I love Star Trek. Good Star Trek's fantastic.
I used to have one of
You
those
cannot
badges
beat
as
it.
well. When I lost it though, remember they were on sale in Forbidden Planet, and I got 2 of them. And lost both
Good,
of them.
well-written Star Trek is just the best.
Right, and the genre changes and tropes that exist within Star Trek. This is in many ways a mystery.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, this is
Right.
Columbo in space, isn't it?
Right, and it is written well as a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and that's a thing that is difficult to do. You know, the different genres and the way that you write certain things. You know, there's a difference to all of them, and the fact that they recognized, okay, we're going to need people that understand and can write this as a good mystery where there are little hints and clues. If you look hard, and if the audience is really paying attention, they can figure it out at the same time the characters do.
Yes.
But even if you don't figure it out, it's still
It
entertaining.
makes sense.
Yeah, it's still entertaining.
Bigger folks, Sword in the Storm. It was only okay for me.
Get out, Sword and Storm.
Right, hold on.
I
I'll
would
block
say,
him. I'll block
would-
him. Hold on.
I would say if you was to rewatch any of this, considering what we've had, I think you'd have a newfound appreciation of this. It's
Also,
good.
right. Also,
So
right.
good.
You remember that scene where, I mean, I'm jumping ahead slightly, where Spock is says, "Show me the hits and everything," and he's explaining on. He's the smartest man on the bridge, right? Isn't he? Where
Can we talk
where
about it then?
it's like, and then you compare it to the Batman. He's meant to be the greatest detective in the world.
Never
and
seen
he
it.
does
Okay.
fuck all. Does nothing. So
Well, I think the one thing to Sword in the Storm's defense, this hits a lot harder for us because we lived through
yes,
Yes.
the Soviet Union, the
Okay.
fall of it,
Very
and all
true.
that, and so the meaning and the parallels for this have a much greater.
Yeah, there is more context,
Impact.
I think, if you're of a certain age, definitely.
Right.
Having said
And
that, I
we
mean,
gr- and we grew up with this.
when it came out in the 90s, I enjoyed it, but we were spoiled. There was a lot of fantastic science fiction that was coming out around that time, and
Yes.
this sort of didn't get amazing reviews, if I remember rightly. I don't think the critics were loving this. I think over the years I've come to enjoy it a lot more. You know, when you
I
sort
think
of
Siskel and Ebert liked it.
oh no, yeah, it did. It was mixed reviews. It wasn't bad reviews, but it wasn't like getting these glowing reports.
You have personally vouched.
You.
Yeah,
Look at
That's
that
a
word.
great scene there, Ian. Look at that. Just
It
a
is,
table.
isn't
That is classic Shatner overacting there, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
it is.
But you can see the look on his face, though. He wants to strangle him. He wants to grab him and shake him, doesn't he?
You should see the
Yeah.
film we watched this morning. No, that was Shatner overacting.
I'm gonna
My
need a
God.
swing.
Now this is great because McCoy always says something that's negative, doesn't he? When he says, "I don't know whether to congratulate you or not," and he goes, "I wouldn't." He
Yeah.
walks off. Yeah.
Sword in the Storm. I remember the Cold War. We all do, mate. I remember.
No, he's
I
great.
can,
He's great
I
as
can-
DeForest Kelly. He just
Oh,
great.
remember.
He's just such a got great comedy timing, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Of course, this was
can-
Dee's last film too.
Yes.
Was it
Yeah.
really? Yeah.
Yes. Kelly passed away in '99, but this was his last film appearance. This was his last appearance as McCoy, except that he did reprise his role as McCoy doing the voice for Bones
Yeah.
in
The
two
video
games. Yes,
Yeah.
25th anniversary and Judgment Rights, which are both
They
really
couldn't-
good games.
They
They
are
couldn't
pretty
get-
good. Yeah.
They couldn't get the insurance for Generations because he was
Right.
too old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hence why he got swapped with Chekhov.
Mm.
He was in some episodes of TNG, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah, he was.
Yeah, it was during the shooting of Star Trek V, I think. There was
About
yeah,
1888,
Encounter
89.
at Farpoint.
yeah, it was an Encounter at Farpoint.
Okay.
And they
again,
had him
classic
with the
That's a
100-year-old
great line,
man
isn't
makeup
it?
on.
That's a great line.
Adam with Data, yeah.
Again, it's the different
Yeah,
races
fun.
taking on the culture of Earth, and just because the wisdom of certain things, we just it's kind of like the English language. Oh, we'll have some of that. We'll just take a little bit of this here, and so these different foreign races are going, no, that makes good sense. We'll just take that. And so you got the old Klingon proverb, only Nixon could go to China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Mega Geek is the director here, but I'm going to say I love this particular shot here where they're going back and forth, where they show, they're on different ends of the table, showing how far apart they are ideologically right now.
That's right.
Okay.
Visual. It's called visual explanation. You don't have to,
just kind of showing their distance.
Yeah, you don't have to relay that via dialogue, just by the shots themselves. Subconsciously tells you that they're at odds with one another.
Didn't even think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm right that Spock is always in more light. In this one,
because
Kirk is in the dark.
Exactly,
right?
it's almost like the good angel versus the demon here, isn't it?
So if you get that, guys, that, and it registers in you, that just goes to show how a good the director Nick is. He's a really good.
He really is.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so he's just in shadow there,
right?
Where Spock is standing in the spotlight.
Yeah,
they're on two ends of the table. Yeah,
and he's coming from the path of the light.
Yeah,
and he's trying to bring his friend into the light as well.
All welcome in the light.
and those,
come into the light, Caroline.
Those lights are covering his paunch. So there you go.
There's many shots where it's not covered. So
no.
Melvin,
breathe in, Shatner.
Melvin, you enjoying this scene?
No.
Oh dear.
Well,
it's Spock standing there.
Points for honesty.
Yeah, there you go. That particular photograph isn't really the best part of the film, I don't think.
I've just noticed Kirk looks very teary-eyed there.
That's because they cut most of his dialogue out. It's meant to say a lot more. It's true. He's meant to say a lot more, and they cut most of that because they didn't agree with his performance. So.
Yeah, there was a bit. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, has he been sniffing some raw onion to get his eyes going?
Sniffing something.
Yeah, right here is where he would say this really intensive, let them die. And then he kind of changed the look on his face and kind of waved it off. Like he recognized that he had said something really nasty. Yeah. And Nick Meyer did not use that. He just kept
I tell you what it is, right? I tell you what it is as a director, I can only speak for myself. Sometimes when you have actors and they need to say a line that subconsciously they disagree with, they basically, the ego drives how they say it.
Yes.
So for instance, if you cast someone that's a really nice person and he's meant to be a racist on screen, they will have a horrible time, or they will try and be that. But some of them have an ego, a big ego, and they won't say it the way it should be said. So I'm just assuming that's what happened with Shatner, that he didn't want to say it the way it should be said because of who he is. Do you know what I mean?
And I think it has the right impact. The way that it's cut and put in the film, it has the right impact that it's supposed to. He comes to his realization that his feelings, that his bigotry is a problem later, but not here.
So I think this is the final shot, and he's just looking perplexed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think Keith, my friend Keith, he knows a lot about this film. He would tell you about the lines that they cut out from Shatner and all that stuff. So it's a shame he's not on, actually. So he knows more than me about this film.
Well, it's going to take 3 weeks to do this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I love this.
Oh, space dock.
Beauty
space
shot,
dock.
everybody. Take a drink.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Love the space dock.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Giant mushroom.
Look at that. Look at that.
I think that was a reused shot.
The doors have to open a lot wider on these shots now that they're getting to a certain age.
Yeah.
How rude.
I can relate.
Oh, another beauty shot. Take a
Another
drink.
beauty shot.
Yay.
Drink, everybody. And this is where the first time we see,
Yes.
is it Valeris?
Yeah.
Yes, Valeris. Yeah.
Do you know what though? I was really disappointed that she was the bad guy, one of the bad guys in this, because I really like her as a person.
Fantastic.
When I watched the film the first time, I went, "Oh no, she's not, is she?" And I was like, Do you know what I mean? So, but
Yeah.
anyway, because
Well, originally that was supposed to be
Kirstie
Savick.
yeah,
It
Savick,
was
yeah.
supposed to be Savick, and Gene Roddenberry absolutely hated that idea that Savick would, turn on and betray them.
Yeah.
And basically, Meyer told him in so many words, "I created that character. I can do with her what I want." But then they couldn't get Kirstie Alley back. She wanted to be paid more than some of the principal actors.
Sure.
And and he didn't, I guess, even reach out to,
Because she was
Robin
doing,
Curtis.
I think, was she doing Cheers at the time? So
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah,
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
she was too busy and couldn't find they didn't have the money, they didn't have the budget, and so yeah, they
Kim
ended up
Cattrall's
creating a new character.
fantastic.
Yeah, they
So
were just going to have her play Savick, but
so good in this.
yeah, she didn't want to be the third actor to play
No.
Savick, so they had
Why-
to rewrite it as a different character.
Why is it Vulcans always have the same haircut? It's like the
It's
planet Vulcan is.
regulation.
It's the Beatles tribute planet.
No, it's not. That's not true. Do you ever see Spock's half brother in number 5? You know
Yeah,
that
he's got a big
lad,
bushy
isn't he?
curly hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Number 5 doesn't count.
That doesn't
Yeah,
count.
here you go, folks. Sudden Storm. Yeah,
Yeah,
Kirstie
Kirstie
Alley.
Alley.
That was a shocker. That
It was
was.
yeah, that one hit me, that one.
I had a
Kirstie Alley.
few Twitter conversations with Kirstie Alley.
She seemed
over the
really
years.
nice. I saw an interview with her talking to Clive
I love
James.
Kirstie Alley.
You know when Clive James used to do those postcards back in the
Yeah.
80s? He does an interview with her when she's at the very start of her career, and she's so fresh-faced and innocent about the whole business, but she's got this she's still got a little bit of that wisdom and that twinkle in the eye. You think, she's so cool back then. You know, what a shame.
Here you go, folks. Mr. Ian. Yes, she was supposed to be half Romulan. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the original ideas that Meyer
Yeah.
had for Savick, but he actually threw that idea out. But it did get
Yeah.
picked up for, I think, some comic books and some novels later on that she was half Romulan.
Which half is it? The top half or the bottom half?
Middle
Obviously,
half.
if this was Star Trek Discovery or Strange New Worlds, they wouldn't even dare say the word "sir." All right, let's move on.
Sir.
Could you
It's
imagine? Look
ma'am.
at the people on that
Lieutenant.
bridge. The people on that bridge, I think, in the previous photograph. What is that going to look like today in Star Trek? Well, it's going to look like a Benetton ad, isn't it? It's not going to look
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
Oh, it's the
well,
United Colors of
oh,
the
yeah.
Federation. Yeah.
Well, that's what we have to put up with now these days, don't we? So yeah.
I'd
She'd
to
still
put
have
up
the
with
same haircut though, with that SJW side shaving.
It'd just
thing.
be blue.
It would be
Yeah.
blue. Yes. There'd be more piercings.
Yeah.
It should look angry.
I do like this line. It is agreeable to see you again.
That's Spock, innit?
That's
Yeah.
that's the level of enthusiasm I have for
So good.
seeing Godwin.
it. Yes.
So then we get the backstory. Top
You
of her
must
class.
You must be proud. I do not believe it.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember what she said.
Stand by her. Get me the Dark Master. See, I love all this stuff.
Mhm.
Permission to depart granted.
So yeah, if you go back and watch Star Trek 5, you'll note that this episode or this bridge looks nothing like the bridge from 5. It also
Yeah.
looks nothing like the bridge from the end of 4. It's
But it was
completely-
supposed to be a few years
completely-
later, though, wasn't it? So we could
Yeah.
have had like a
yeah.
Another refit.
Yeah.
a refit on the thing. Yeah.
But yeah, you can see a lot of the similarities to the bridge of the Excelsior.
Excelsior.
Here you go, folks. Anti-derivative Jill. Hello, Jill. Nimoy was
Jill.
very protective of anything Vulcan related.
Mhm.
He was the daddy of it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, it
Jim
was, like, it was
D.
like having Tolkien on the set, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thrusters only, bitches.
Mm. I love William Shatner's wig in this. It looks very realistic.
Weave.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah, but Chekhov's wig is awful.
Oh, it's terrible, isn't it? It's terrible.
Only regulation, thrusters only in
Well,
space.
in
dock.
space dock.
You heard the order, Lieutenant.
I love
Thanks,
that. Yeah, I love the little tut from Uhura.
As an aside, out of all of the people I've met on conventions over the years, Chekhov was one of the 3 grumpy ones.
Was he?
Yeah, he was just a bit of a
That's
misery. I
funny.
think it might have been a bit too early for him.
Yeah.
That's a very well framed shot.
Here we go.
Yeah. Do you know what I
So
think
well
made a
framed.
difference between this and the Wrath of Khan? Was the bridge was darker.
Yes, it was.
In the Wrath of Khan, it was all bright and lit up, and it looked more like a studio.
Yeah.
But then I think they started with number 3. They made the bridge darker, and it made a difference. It made a big improvement, I thought.
Rule of thirds, apparently.
Yes.
That
Lots
is the
of,
rule of thirds. His
lots of-
eyes are right on
yeah.
that line.
Yeah,
That's,
you
where
can
his
just
eyes
see the
supposed to be.
perspective lines going off. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Such a
Yeah.
great shot.
Mhm.
Great shot, that, folks.
Mhm. Although his eyes are a little lower than a rule of thirds. So,
I think he's operating from a rule of fifths. Given that face right now.
Here you go, folks. Vex Electronica, hello Vex. I'm in love with June. Oh, is it Dune? Now, by the way. Yeah,
I
Vex
love
is
that
watching
face
Dune.
Vex has put up as a
Yeah.
It's funny.
Okay. Oh, Smylexx Dune on Friday. Yes! Get in.
Got my tickets.
You heard the order, Lieutenant. Reused shot, everybody. It's still a beautiful shot, but
Oh, yeah.
reused, everybody. Drink, everybody. Look at that.
Is it reused though?
From for end of 4.
In the 4, I think.
It might be the green screen shot or the blue
No, it's
screen shot they
end of
use, but the
format.
background's different, right? So they could comp
possibly.
another
Could be.
background.
Yeah.
in.
It's still the same ship
Yeah.
shot.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I do know that they had to refurbish the model for this film for all the new shots that they had to do.
Drink, everybody.
The the model had been used for another production called Star Trek Adventure, which was part of a theme park ride.
Oh wow.
And whoever had used it had sprayed a whole bunch of flat gray paint on one
Ooh.
side because the pearlescent finish of
Aztec
the
stuff.
model
Yeah.
was reflecting all the blue light from the blue screens. And since they were working with much less sophisticated equipment, they had just sprayed this gray flat paint all over one side of it. And so they ended up having to completely refurbish the model. They called in some of the original people from the first film to come in and help them to get all the colors right and everything.
You know what? I find it shocking, right?
Not shit.
No, I find it shocking that a property such as Star Trek that's made Paramount so much money that they would not protect this thing.
Yeah, they
it's
didn't give a
incredible.
shit, did they?
It's incredible to me. It seems really incredible that they would allow something like this to get damaged. Or
There's a long history of that with
It's
this
crazy.
franchise, isn't there? With Paramount, there's just loads of times that they've just destroyed sets after using them and discarded stuff which they could have brought back or put in a museum or whatever you wanted. But they don't really understand what they've got. I don't think they
Yeah,
ever
folks.
really have.
They never did. Wayfarer Project. I went on the Star Trek Adventure theme park ride when I was a kid. It was in Land, California.
Yeah, I so in '88, I went to the Trek experience thing, and they actually pick like certain kids out of the
What Disney do?
audience.
I bet they do.
Oh yeah, and then but you go
Disney
back
Wi-Fi.
and they have these huge wardrobes. So like my buddy
Massive
got-
closets, you mean?
yeah, large closets, and they definitely put you in and then bring you back
Right.
out.
Oh, okay.
But so he was a Klingon, and I ended up being a officer, one of the fleet officers for the Federation. But they have these huge wardrobes where it's basically whatever size you are, they have got the costume for you. And I remember going through that, and then they videotape you, and they give you some lines, and you act out a scene while they film it. It's in front of this live audience. But I remember looking at that, going, man, the amount of money that they spent just to have these wardrobes available, to bring people in and all that. They must be making bank on this. But thinking about the movies, each one of these are usually you spin up your own company to do it, and you have your funding, and you're done. Well, you don't give a shit, right? That's the next movie's problem if they want to model, and maybe they get the budget to build something. Well, that keeps not happening with the Paramount movies,
Yeah.
and so they have to go and find like whatever pieces of is left over, glue it back together somehow, and baling wire and duct tape it back onto the screen.
Here you go, folks. So they're departing space dock, and
I have a question
Polaris is
before,
happy. Scott is
before we
happy.
go
Here you go.
before we go too far ahead. Can you go back to that still image of the Enterprise? That one. This here, obviously, that background's a painting, right? That looks like Ralph McQuarrie. Like it looks like the still images they used for The Empire Strikes Back for Bespin, doesn't
Oh yeah, a little
it?
bit.
Oh yeah.
Do
But
you
it's
think this
funny-
was Ralph McQuarrie?
It might
When
be,
did-
but
Yeah, possibly.
when they reuse shots, sometimes they would still have the footage of the green screen shots. They can comp anything in the background. do you know what I
That
mean?
is definitely that. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely that.
I think Battlestar Galactica used to do it all the time.
Yeah, this is a
Didn't they?
nice shot of them departing space.
Yeah.
dock.
And now, Mr. Scott, the doors, Mr. Scott, the doors.
Yeah.
Remember that
Scott is
scene?
happy
Working
as
on it.
well. Yeah, Scott is happy.
Look at that guy on the right. What?
Yeah.
Looking at him like, what is he laughing at?
Is that that looks like Tuvok, but anyway.
I thought it was Michael Bonham.
Like, oh, Michael Burnham.
Don't soil this stream with that.
You know, I think you might be right about Ralph McQuarrie, by the way. I've just checked his IMDb, and he did work on Star Trek 4. And since this is a repurposed
Yeah.
shot, it
Yeah.
probably is. It
Mhm.
he was at least a consultant, if not one of the art team.
Drink, everybody. Look at that.
I tell you what, though, when they did
at
reuse the
that.
shots, it wasn't blaringly obvious, apart from Star Trek 5, of course. But these ones are not blaringly obvious that they've reused some shots. Do you know what I mean? So it's quite good what they did.
Look at that, everybody. How good is that?
That is pretty
Stardate
cool.
9522.6. Or is it? I never trusted Klingons.
And I never will.
I never will.
Yeah, there's the
Never
little
will.
tribute that we get to Merritt Buttrick,
Yeah.
who had passed away. He had died from AIDS.
Yeah, recently
It's
died.
horrible,
hasn't he?
isn't
Yeah.
it? It's horrible.
Gosh. Wow.
I can never forgive them for the death of my
That's
boy.
my boy.
Oh, you do sound like him.
Later, this would come back into play, wouldn't it?
Oh yes. Somehow they get his personal log.
Yes, and that's her. God. And they still have coat hookers,
Yeah.
coat hangers and stuff.
Hookers?
Well,
Oh,
this-
yeah.
Hookers.
You've got that interest. You've got that
Definitely got
interest.
hookers.
Yeah,
More.
suddenly I'm far more
Being
interested in
slim
joining
there, folks.
Starfleet.
They
My,
got
my.
they got green coat hookers. Remember that green woman?
I don't judge. I don't judge.
Shatner is
more
an equal
wire.
opportunity hooker user.
Yeah.
So it says Spock says this could be an historic occasion, but how on earth can history get past people like me?
No,
So
we-
good.
It's funny.
So
My
good.
wife was commenting when we were watching this on how much more practical this Enterprise looks than some of the other ships.
Mm.
For instance, actual pictures hanging on the wall,
Yeah.
a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
I like the evac procedures. I've never seen those before.
Yeah.
They remind me of
Yeah.
they remind me of 2001.
Great, isn't it?
Yeah, you remember the scenes in 2001 where they're looking through the long list of things you have to look at before you go to the bathroom.
Before you go poo.
Also, I think this is really a bit crap, really, because as I recall, aren't you supposed to press a switch and they say come
Yes,
and the
I was
door
just about to say that,
opens?
Ian.
And
He
then,
must have left
yeah.
the door open,
Yeah, he must have done. That's weird.
but it
Well, you
wouldn't
know,
have
he's-
left open because it had closed.
Yes, it would. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but you
there's
know,
a little fault
there,
there, folks.
there might be some random female wanting to drop in, and then he's just, he's a single man. He's-
Unless if by pure accident well, no, she wouldn't have been allowed to go in.
Yeah,
the,
yeah, that's a bit
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
Okay, so
Well, this
Ten
was
minutes.
this was building the case where she would be the one who heard him
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
and gave the recording to the Klingons, because this is something somebody said in one of the reviews I watched,
Mm.
that it kind of ruined it. They said because as soon as they heard the recording in the court case, they knew she was the baddie
Yeah.
Yeah.
because she was the person who was there.
Well,
Also,
but at the
it's-
same time, though, that's the same time Kirk learns that she's the
Yeah.
she's the traitor. When he
But-
hears that playback, he immediately realizes that she's the traitor.
Also, is this the first time we see Captain Kirk actually doing Captain's log, physically doing it?
No, I think we've seen it
No.
a few times.
Or when have we
Yeah.
seen it? Have we,
I know
did he
that
do
it's
it
in
the
Star Trek
60s first?
5 at least.
Oh,
yeah.
well,
but
Star
I
Trek
know
5 doesn't count.
in some, yeah, non-canon.
The book, the recorder didn't work.
Yeah, it keeps breaking. Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm certain that we've actually seen it before. I think we've seen it in
right.
one of the original episodes.
This
Okay.
is where
Yeah,
she
it's not
goes, permission to
frequent.
speak freely, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's kind of buttering him up a little bit.
And of course, Valeris volunteered to be on the ship, right? It wasn't that
piloted-
maybe somebody like Cartwright put her there.
You piloted well out of space dock.
I always
Lieutenant.
wanted to do that, sir.
Oh, she's so good. So good.
she's
Drink, everybody. Look at that.
Drink.
Look at
Stepping
that.
back.
Drink, everybody. Look at that. Isn't that amazing?
That's a beautiful thing.
Oh,
So every time I see that,
look at
it's
that.
either Jerry Goldsmith or James Horner that comes to mind when I see that shit.
Mhm.
Look at that.
One. Iceman
That's-
will give it one.
Definitely.
Right up the Jeffries tubes.
Yeah.
I think I am as well, to be fair. There you go.
Hmm.
It's a thing of beauty. From Birmingham, Stephen. She's got a Birmingham blood.
Yeah, she-
Sorry, not Birmingham. Liverpool. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, she's a
Liverpool,
Brit,
yeah.
isn't she? She's a Brit.
Yeah,
That was.
Liverpool.
Do you remember the old joke? It's why was there no Scousers in Star Trek? And it's
Go
because
on.
they don't have jobs in the future either.
Oh, nice.
He's here all week,
Well,
folks.
She
Oh.
proves them wrong, doesn't she? They got a Scouser now.
Yeah, she is Canadian, but is it parents from Liverpool?
Yeah, she's definitely got. Yeah, you're right. It is Liverpool. She's got a connection there. I don't know whether or not she was born.
I remember the story, but I remember.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
she was born in Liverpool.
Right.
Yeah, I remember her telling the story many times.
Although I have been sure and been wrong many times before.
No, you're right on this. Okay.
Toblerone.
Oh, this is a great scene as well.
What a strange cup. When he drinks out of that cup, it's weird.
It's interesting.
Mm.
Yep. 2 Vulcans, 1 cup.
Yeah.
Don't look that
I
video
have
up.
followed
No.
your career with satisfaction.
It's a weird painting to have in a Vulcan's room, I guess. It's
Certainly.
a bit of Christian philosophy, and, ideology going on there.
He,
but-
he does study a lot, though, doesn't he?
No, I get it. You know, you
Yeah.
can certainly give a reason why he would have it, and he explains it away, doesn't he? But you would think he'd have something a little bit more.
The expulsion
Vulcan-y.
from paradise.
Vulcan-y.
It is a reminder to me that all things end.
Things end.
Of course they do.
Well, here's one
So-
for you.
Yeah.
Kim
Go on.
Cattrall is 67 years old.
What?
She was born in 1956. In Liverpool, mind you. But 67.
Christ.
I'll still
Here you go,
give him one.
folks. Amelia Bedelia, born in Liverpool, moved to Canada when she was 3
I think she's a bit mental, isn't she?
months old.
I think she's a bit of a
little
crazy,
bit,
crazy creature. But
yeah,
then again, that's
highly-
fine. That works for me. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's kind of your type, isn't it?
That's
Here you go, Ian.
exactly. I like the
Ian,
eyeballs.
Son in the Storm. Wait till she's 69. Wah, 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 wah.
Oh. Hello.
I do like this scene.
What was that film she was in when she played a mannequin? Was it
It's called Mannequin.
Yeah, cool mannequin.
I've said this on previous streams. The first 3 films, this is while I remember, the first 3 films were about Kirk, mainly as the main character. And then there was a shift after Nimoy came back, and the films went more into being about Spock, because Nimoy gets better and better and better towards the end of the movies. So
Yeah,
good.
I would
so
certainly make,
good.
I would certainly make the case to say that they're sharing the spotlight in these last few
Yeah.
films. Whether or not I don't think he actually ever really overtakes Kirk, but he certainly gets probably about as many lines or almost as many lines as Kirk in the movies.
Kirk, as I said, Kirk gets the first 3 films.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And then Nimoy, Spock gets the remainder.
Yeah,
I'd
once
argue
you
It's
go
that,
find,
50-50. It's 50-50.
I'd argue Wrath of Khan is kind of a 50-50 movie.
It's still mainly about Kirk.
It is, but a lot of the saving the Enterprise.
Yeah, the powerful
moments. All of the like prime moving of the plot is
I
not.
think there's a
Kirk.
shift who's center stage. is
I
what I'm
reckon it's
saying.
more to do. I reckon you're right, and I think that's probably due to the fact that
It's
he directed
subtle.
4.
It's subtle.
Yeah,
but
but
it's
Nimoy directing 4 and that being the most profitable of the Trek movies to that date as well. He was suddenly more of an investment for Paramount. So let's keep him sweet, because actually not only is he a decent actor, he also knows the law pretty well. He's quite a good custodian of this whole stuff. He knows how to write to some degree and direct. So he's a useful asset. We can probably get him to do 3 roles for the price of 1 while he's working. So from their point of view, it was good value for money. I
His
reckon.
Kim
intellect is
Cattrall was
better, wasn't
also
it?
in.
His intellect is much
Hawkins.
better than to say William Shatner, isn't it? Because you just look at the difference between the writings between both of them. You had Star Trek 3, the way that was written, and he was part of the writing stuff for this as well. And then you look at William Shatner's stuff is kind of a bit juvenile. Do you know what I mean? So
And they both clearly have a different vision of what Star Trek is. I mean,
yeah.
I think Shatner has always seen it as sort of a space cowboy, out
Yes.
there on the fringes, just doing his thing. And I think I reckon Nimoy probably picked up more on the fact that it's a more intellectual property than more intellectual property than Shatner did.
I think what happened previous was that Shatner agreed to come back to do the voyage home on the condition that he was allowed to direct, because I think there was some jealousy going on.
No,
Well,
it
so
was
actually-
it was in the contract. It was in
Yeah,
the contract.
so they had a contract all the way back from the original series,
Mhm.
where there was basically what would be referred to as a favored nations contract.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah.
if you were going to get paid this much, I get paid this much. If you get this thing, I get this thing. And so eventually, what happened was he got to direct 2 films. Nimoy did, and so Shatner said, "Hey, where's my favored nations contract? He got to direct. I get to direct." And so there was a big contract kerfuffle over that.
Hot take. I actually don't mind number 5. I think it's.
I don't either.
There's
I'm a
there's
big
things
fan
to
of
like
5.
and dislike about it.
Okay, this scene basically it's Spock saying that this is his last voyage, and she's been trained
I
up well.
didn't see the need for Spock doing all this spiritual thing all the time. All this here dressed up like 1980s Al Pacino was all weird, all lighting candles and wearing robes and things. I don't think this was necessary to the story or anything.
They've always tried to throw in a
maybe.
little bit of Vulcan mysticism here and there. I mean, even in the
Yeah,
first one, where they're picking him up on the planet and stuff like that, and there has been the occasional little nod to this sort of, space wizardy stuff that he's doing. I don't know. It's not too long, this scene, so it doesn't really slow anything down.
This is where she's saying she doesn't think this is going to end well. isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's
This
subtle. Yeah.
Yeah, she's feeling out Spock, and,
Exactly.
and she realizes, nope, that's not someone who's going to be on my side. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it
Guys,
damaged
You must
it.
have faith.
I don't think it damaged it any at all. And I think it does add to the story slightly, because they do mention this conversation when they were interrogating her on the on the bridge. Remember when he says, "But we didn't listen to each other." She says, "I tried to tell you."
This is it. This is
So it does play
yeah.
into it,
Yeah,
and it is worth having in the film. But I do like Spock being very spiritual and stuff like that, because they're both 2 sides of the coin, aren't they? Spock is this, Kirk is that. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a good scene.
It was always
It's a
always
great
the 3 of them together. It was Spock is pure logic. He's all about the brain. Bones was the heart, all emotion, and then you got Shatner in the middle trying to work out the best solution between the 2 of them.
Another beautifully framed shot.
Yes.
So well directed.
It is, because there's a lot, because mirrors are often
Look at
a
that,
good way
everybody.
of showing that somebody is mistrustful as well, because you're not seeing the true self, you're seeing the reflection. So there's probably some psychological stuff going in that shot too.
Absolutely.
And she's sharing with his back. which means he's
Mm-hmm.
he's not turned towards her. You know, at least in the shot, you have him both facing, but then when you see her, it's his back, which means
Yep.
he's not with her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose there's another way you could look at that as well. You can see Nimoy from both sides, so it's basically you can see all of them, but with her,
Yeah.
you can only
Right.
see her from the
I
front.
see
and
one
her
side, yeah.
Right.
Her hands are
Um,
behind her back.
There's a
which is
lot going
hiding
on there,
something.
isn't there? There is a
Bigger
lot going on
folks.
with that shot.
The mirror is a barrier.
Yeah.
See, again, that's another level.
Yeah, clever. It's clever stuff.
It is.
good.
I mean, and
Very-
then this
very
is
good,
this
very
is
good.
this is what I mean. This is you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, that film was well directed," but I had no fucking clue. This is directing. I mean, I don't know if it was deliberately done this way, and don't know if Nick Meyer deliberately wanted to shoot it this way
It's
to
amazing.
actually show you subconsciously that there was something happening. I don't know, but if he did, yep, I take
It
my
is
hat off.
on. It's on another level, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, as I said, we don't know whether that was deliberate.
Yeah, you don't know how much of it is conscious thought
Exactly,
or whether or not
exactly.
I mean, he could have had other people helping and
Yeah,
talking him through shots, but you know,
Okay.
if you
Well-
find it and it works for you, then
Mm.
you know, let's give him the credit. Until
Well,
we
there
know
seems to
otherwise.
be lots. There seems to be lots of really, really well framed shots. So I don't think it's an accident.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I will,
Iceman claimed that we all know too much about Star Trek. By the way,
we thought
You
we're
have-
fans, aren't
Sorry.
we?
You have no idea.
Okay.
I'll cop to that.
this is just scratching the surface.
Yep.
I
I
intend
do
you to
think-
replace me.
I do think Fiona's correct. One thing going back, so everybody keeps talking about mysticism. That's not what it is.
No, I'm
it's
just
the
I'm
ritual.
paraphrasing, really. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's so they always talk about that he meditates in order to remain logical. That he's constantly having to suppress the emotion, and so there's this ritual he goes through. It's not I'm gonna pray to space Jesus and hope that he guides me.
No,
Yeah.
I mean the whole point of some of these shots and the shots in things like motion picture where they're picking him up on the planet and all that kind of stuff, it really just shows the other. He's the alien. He's different. He's
Right.
got an entirely different culture, and that's really all these scenes are about. It's making sure that you know he's not just a human with pointy ears. He's coming from a different point of view, and it's trying to sort of cement that in your mind.
I think this is slowly becoming my second favorite Star Trek film.
Ooh.
The thing is, though, Spock is he tries to suppress the emotions, but the thing is that he realized that emotion and logic together equals something bigger than just logic. So do you know what I mean? And also he's suffering from pride here, that he's saying to her, "I want you to replace me." He thinks, do you know what I mean? So it is emotion that's happening here. Spock's not perfect at all.
Well, he's
what I
also
mean?
half human, so
Exactly that. But even the Klingons that are not half human, some of them are really arrogant, as in some of the TV shows that I've seen, and especially Enterprise. They look down at humans and stuff. So yeah, I mean, Klingons are not perfect at all.
well, again, it's a
Vulcans, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, Vulcan.
Yeah, the
sorry,
Vulcans.
sorry.
So the Vulcans again make the choice to be logical and
Yes.
go through rigorous training to do that, because the Romulans are from the same line and they don't
Yes.
operate on that same way, right? And Spock warns about how in their past they were very violent, very emotional.
Again, look at the lines. Beautifully framed. Again.
Beautifully
So
lit.
it's not an accident.
No, it's shot well.
Yeah.
It's Bertie Bassett.
Kronos.
Oh, look at that!
Oh.
Look at that,
So-
everybody. Drink.
That is the same filming model from the motion picture.
Yeah,
First
Those
one.
opening shots.
It's lit
yeah.
differently though, isn't it? It's
Yeah, well, it
very
was
bright.
it was
Yeah.
completely refurbished and redone. It was repainted
Yeah.
to look more like it was something special, as opposed to just a usual, run of the line.
Iceman says, "Why does it look Mexican?"
It's brown and red, or the colors that they painted.
no,
it.
it's
I'm
the
gonna
sombrero
spoil
that's
this.
throwing him
the
off.
sombrero.
Spoil this spaceship for every non-Brit in the chat. Google Bertie Bassett. Trust me.
Yeah, it does look
Yeah,
like
it's Bertie
that.
Bassett, everybody.
Yeah. Apparently he died of AIDS too.
Bertie
Um,
Bassett.
Yeah, he was apparently shagging all sorts.
Very
Wah,
funny.
wah, wah. That's for the Brits, everybody. He's here all week.
Boom,
Dear,
boom.
I'm not getting invited back.
Oh, Smylexx, we're going to have an amazing time on Friday.
Every time I see that ship, I think dun, 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 in
Oh,
the
yes.
beginning of the first one. Yeah, brilliant. Look at that. It's fantastic.
I don't think this one is projection. This is.
Yeah, it's a
No,
comp.
it's an
That's-
insert.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
that's
comp.
an optical insert.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I will say, very brave of them using the clock,
Yeah.
because as I said, I've been doing the stills, and
They keep the
Perfect.
continuity correct. Yeah.
perfect,
Yes. Yeah.
perfect. Oh, look at that, everybody!
You can see its bum hole from there, can't you?
It's
Yeah.
over.
Mhm.
Look at that,
Well,
everybody!
baby got back.
Hey, David
Oh,
Warner.
David Warner.
Yep.
It's evil.
I love his beard.
Bear
Yes,
in
it
mind,
is.
bear
Bit
Right.
grey
in
on the side.
mind,
Yeah.
Yep.
we saw him in Star Trek V.
Star Trek V.
Yes, it
Yes.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. David Warner was a definitely a Star Trek that guy. He was in a number of different productions, but he
It's
was
a
also
shame.
How
was
many
great
lights are there, by
friends.
the way?
It's a shame he wasn't utilized a lot as an actor, because I remember seeing him in the very first film that Nick Meyer directed, which was Time After Time. He played
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He
Plays
was
Jack
great
the Ripper.
friends.
Jack
He's
the
great
Ripper.
friends with Meyer.
Yeah,
for that
and he
film.
was brilliant as Jack the Ripper. He was
Yes.
very terrifying.
great
as Jack the
film.
Ripper.
It's a
Yeah.
great
He's
film.
pretty much the glue of nerddom is David Warner. He has
He's
been
been
in
in It's about
he's been
everything.
in every franchise. I mean, he's been in
Yeah.
Star Wars and Star Trek. He's been in Tron. He's been in Babylon 5. He's
Yep.
just everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, he's absolutely the glue that keeps
Oh,
the
yes.
internet going.
He's also been the man with two brains as well. So
Yeah.
there you go.
So, yeah, he's got the
so here we
chin
go.
strap beard there.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
The Omen, great movie.
The
Everyone
Omen,
check it
yeah,
out.
absolutely.
The Omen,
Wing
what a
Commander
movie.
is in Wing Commander as well. Batman
Yes.
Beyond. I mean, he just
Tron,
gets yes, absolutely Tron. Yeah, he's
Dillinger.
in loads of voice acting stuff as well.
Great British.
I'll
actor.
always
Incredible.
remember him as evil from Time Bandits, though.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. yes.
Also that. Yeah.
That's a
So
good
this is
he
question.
the one that got decapitated in the Omen.
Yes. He is.
Yeah,
That's
He's
right.
the
Yeah,
one.
that's the fella.
We really do need to cover the Omen at some point.
Yeah.
It's all
Such
for
a
you,
great
Daddy.
movie.
Yeah. No, it's
No, Daddy, no.
Daddy, no, Daddy, no.
It's a great movie.
So they named this character Chancellor Gorkon, and Nick Meyer was incredibly worried that it was too much on the nose. It's Gorbachev and Lincoln
Right. Yeah.
put
And is
together,
it? Yeah. Okay.
and that's he's
That
got
explains the
chin
beard.
strap
The
here.
beard.
And he was really worried, not only that the metaphor of the whole film being the USSR and the fall of the wall and everything, he was worried that naming the character Gorkon was too much on the nose. But he was seeing his dentist, and after the film had come out, and while the dentist was cleaning his teeth and everything, he was talking to him, and he said, "You didn't think the USSR and Lincoln and all the," and his dentist was like, "No, I guess I didn't get that when I was watching it. I'll have to go see it again." So he knew then he was fine.
Mm.
Like,
A lot of people didn't get
it.
it.
wasn't
A lot of
wasn't
people
too
didn't get it,
obvious.
though. A lot of people didn't get what it was about. They just saw Star Trek and they just saw what they saw. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people didn't make the connection.
No.
So
Yeah.
he
Um,
was.
Was this,
I-
was
was
this
in the clear.
before the episode in which he interrogates Picard?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
like
it'd been yes. I think it'd probably been the year before. I will
Right.
say, Fiona, you really do need to come on one of these one way.
Yes.
Here you go, Stephen Amora. Hello, Stephen. Once sat opposite David Warner on the London DLR Docklands Light Railway. Kept looking at him because I couldn't believe I was 4 feet away from David Warner. Wow.
I'm gonna one up you, Armour. I was on the next urinal to David Warner at a convention once.
What?
Yes, we were both shaking at the same time. So I didn't give him eye contact on that one though.
So this is where they're setting up the meeting for dinner.
I hope you're happy.
Yeah.
Great line.
So that's definitely a projection there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, you can tell that's pretty good, doesn't it?
It's such a good film, though.
Well, I hope you are happy. Classic
Yeah.
line, folks.
Yep.
But that, you know what, those uniforms look really uncomfortable to be in. They look really hot because you've got
They
the
were.
bottom
Yeah, they
thing at
were.
the bottom, ain't
They
you?
were.
And then you've got the
Um,
top thing as well.
Okay, I'll just say, look at the time, everybody. What is it?
Yeah.
16:13:43.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
2 seconds later. Yeah.
I bet there was somebody there on set to make sure that they were right.
No,
Yeah,
they-
your continuity director was working overtime.
Well, it's
on
possible
Yeah.
that they had
Amazing.
3 cameras there, so they had one on the
How good
screen,
is that, folks?
one and them at the side, and you know what I mean, and just
Yeah.
shot it at the same time. Could have been possible that they did that. Guess who's coming to dinner?
So that line was originally given to Uhura.
Oh, right. Okay.
She refused to say
Yeah.
it.
It's like,
Oh,
no.
really? Yeah.
I don't
okay.
blame her.
Well,
Don't
I
She
get
blame
it.
her.
said under, I will not say that line.
Is he in the?
Do you know
Is it-
what would have been good when he said, "Guess who's coming to dinner?" If one of the Klingons had been Sidney Poitier.
Yes.
There you go.
Is he in the captain's chair? Or am I imagining
No, he's
that?
sitting at the side.
Yeah.
His chair at the
He
side.
wouldn't dream of doing that.
Yeah, but his
Get
wig's
out.
terrible, isn't it?
Well, it depends
Look
if
at
he was on
that.
duty.
What, for his wig?
No, it depends if he was on duty when.
Well, you know,
was
he
in
might
charge of
actually
the
be
bridge.
in the captain's
sure
chair there,
he
actually. I'm
is.
looking at the
He is.
angles.
He is.
Yeah,
he's
because
in the
he was
captain's
in
chair.
charge of the bridge when they came. Yeah.
I
yeah,
see.
yeah, he's
Kirk
got the-
walked on, you
He's
see.
got the he's
Yeah.
got the console on the left, hasn't he?
Mm,
Because
Yeah.
he
you
goes,
might be right.
Captain on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
See,
You might
little
be right.
things like that. Captain on the bridge. I love stuff like that. Little touches. Look at that.
Beauty.
Oh, drink, everybody. Drink. Look at that. How good is that? How good is that?
I'm just thinking of the Mexican joke again now.
You
I can't not
you
see
can't
it now.
unsee the sombrero, can you?
Oh no! It looks like a
But-
surprised Mexican. It's like
It is.
Bertie Bassett and USS Enterprise, everybody. Energize.
Oh, there's our boatswain whistle.
Again, stuff like this, I love it. It's the attention to detail, Ian. Agreed?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Yep.
He's one of the bad guys, though, isn't he?
He is. He will be
That would
addressed by Kim Cattrall soon.
Just
Yes.
momentarily. Yeah.
And they're also racists, one of him and his friend.
Oh, yeah.
What about
Anyway.
that smell?
Only
Yeah,
the top
yeah.
of the line models can speak.
Yeah.
Those shoes. Oh,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Beautifully shot again.
Just a little thing that bothered me about this scene, right? How comes the Klingons were so into Shakespeare? It's only because we, as the viewers, and obviously we're human, obviously we can connect with that. But probably they'll have their own Shakespeare, their own thing, wouldn't they?
cultural
Why?
Well,
appropriation.
I mean,
Yeah, I know.
you haven't really experienced Shakespeare until you've
you've-
read it in the
original
Klingon.
Klingon. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing, you see, right? Why would Klingons like something that's initially
Oh.
human? That's the question.
What if
right?
it actually turned out that Shakespeare was Klingon?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
there's a lot of
maybe.
people that go
Why
to
are
the
you
theory
assuming
that,
Shakespeare's race like that, Ian?
Yeah. that Shakespeare
Ian,
never
bigot.
existed?
Yeah, we don't know.
And,
We don't know that he looks like David Mitchell.
It was
No.
actually Sir Francis Bacon who wrote the works of Shakespeare. There's people who believe that. So
Yep.
what if it was? What if it wasn't even Francis Bacon? What if it was aliens?
Of course, Christopher Plummer is the goat.
Yeah, it's great.
He is.
Yeah.
Him and Shatner were huge friends, weren't they? They've been
Yes.
friends for like
Oh,
60 odd
yeah, yeah,
years.
yeah.
They had worked in Canadian theater for years together.
wa-
So yeah, it
wasn't-
was a huge reunion for the two
I've
of
got a
them.
funny feeling. I think if I remember rightly, Shatner was understudy to Plummer on a very, very early production, like
He
I believe
was,
so.
yeah.
right at the
Wow.
start of his career.
He was.
Yeah, I seen that in an interview earlier, 1956.
Yeah. So
Right,
there's Plummer, classically trained theater actor.
Oh,
Boy, he plays it big in this film, and it's
He does.
great.
Yeah,
It's
he chooses
great.
that scenery.
Yep.
he
Af-
chews
After
the scenery, yes.
Oh, and there's
After-
Gorkon again. Yep, in that lovely red
Um,
outfit.
Fantastic framing again.
I love
Yeah,
his
it's pretty
beard.
cool.
So Do you know
Even
who
the
was the
baddies.
original actor they wanted to play Gorkin?
Go on.
I can't remember who was it.
Jack Palance.
Oh wow.
Oh God.
He was their
Imagine that.
first choice. They
Oh,
wanted
no,
Jack Palance.
He would have actually been pretty good, I
It
reckon.
would have been a very interesting performance.
It'd been
I can say
terrifying for
that.
the
I
crew.
Jack Palance would have made a good Chang, wouldn't he?
Yes.
He would, yeah. He
Yeah.
would.
Oh, the overacting would have been biblical.
Yeah.
Pick up the laser. Pick it up.
Here you go, Stephen Amore. Who was the DOP on this film? Artoo?
Oh, let's see. Hiro Narita? Not
Mm.
cinematography. Let's see.
Where are we?
Directed. Yeah.
Mm.
Whoever it was
Hmm.
on the
Chef's
money.
kiss.
Yeah,
Chef's
cinematography
kiss, yeah,
Hiro
yeah.
Narita. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Hiro
don't-
Narita.
I don't
Yeah.
think I've seen one bad shot.
Cinematography
Yeah.
by director of
he's-
photography. Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
This is why I will say, back in the day when we first started the channel, I would just go press, press, press. But now I take my time with the slides to get the optimum picture. And it's not the same thing when you just put a video on and just flick 10 seconds ahead. This is why it takes so long, because got to get the optimum shot. And it's worth it.
Definitely.
It's worth
we-
it, folks.
Also
at
helps when you have actual practical, you
Yeah.
know, costumes and
Yeah.
appliances and all that, not just
Yeah.
here, put some dots on you and we'll CG it
Yeah.
later.
you, it's all
There
smeary and yeah.
Yeah.
There isn't a bad scene in this film, is there? There isn't a
No.
bad scene. There isn't a scene that it's not at its worst very, very good.
Yep. Yeah, of
Except
course,
for
another,
that one where Uhura is trying to sit all sexy. She's kind of sitting on the railing with her legs crossed,
Oh,
and you're thinking, "Oh my goodness." Sit
Although
over there.
I will say,
Sit further back.
Iceman, you are correct.
yeah.
but you
Oh,
are
yes.
Yeah, don't do
And
this
again-
level of detail for anything Star Wars related.
I'll say again, Iceman, you really do need to come on one of these one week.
Also, the fact that you have to remember that because mostly it was shot in the studio, they can arrange things so that it will
TNG
help.
set.
Help
Oh
with
yeah, that's a
lighting.
reuse set.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
TNG set.
the things above them has got a good amount of light coming out there, so it would help light faster. In fact, if they arrange the
You
studio
go,
that
Jim
way.
D. Gary Kurt's beard, yes. Yeah.
So
I love
actually,
the
yeah,
grey.
this is the TNG transporter room, and
Yeah.
and those Fresnel lenses that are on the ceiling,
Mm.
those were the transporter pads from the original
series.
TOS series.
Mm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, they built a box around the controls.
Yeah. But as you can see, that there's a lot of light in that room, and it's just up to the DOP to direct it. So it's helping shoot. It's helping light the scene so they can shoot faster.
Yeah.
So yeah.
This is the first time I've seen effectively the high res version of this movie. It looks fantastic.
Angela?
Yeah. The just a small detail, but the ears are great, aren't they, on that shot?
Yeah,
I mean, there's no join there. They
so
are.
good.
Those are his ears.
So good.
Simple as that.
Mhm.
Gentlemen. Again, another beautifully framed shot.
I love how the Klingons are the most polite in all of these scenes as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're the ones that are actually trying to fit in. You know, even at dinner when they're trying to use the napkins and they don't really know what to do with them. Everything, that little details about them being the politest ones and the humans being absolute dicks, really.
Okay. Chat, marks out of 10. I'll start.
Out of 10?
Out of 10,
Yeah.
You're all right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
there's another one that I think I would rather rate.
It'd be very vigorous, put it that way.
And dangerous.
That's what you need.
There's
Bit of
something
rough.
else here I was thinking about just now, is the Romulan ale.
Yeah.
And somebody said, I've got some Romulan ale, or we've got some Romulan ale we can bring up. And Kirk said, that's a good idea. In what fucking world was that a good idea?
True.
Yeah. This can only be better
Very
with
true.
alcohol.
Is he one of the good? He's one of the good guys. This one.
No,
I don't think.
dunno.
I don't think he's not a bad guy, is he?
No, he's also the one that you saw on screen
Yeah.
telling them that they didn't need any help with Praxis. So
Yeah.
yeah, same.
Is that the one that gets his arm shot off?
Yes.
No, actually, no. You see him later, I think.
I
both
think-
hands
That's
intact.
the one that gets his arm shot off. I believe was supposed to be the ship's doctor.
Oh, okay. Right, okay.
Yeah.
But that's the same guy
General
then that
Chang.
you see given evidence, the one-arm one.
Mm.
Yes,
That's not him.
Yes.
that's not him. No.
Is he related to Emperor Godwin? There is a similarity there.
There's a certain amount, yes.
What's interesting is I don't know how they put that thing on his eye, but there's bolts.
Yeah,
bolts
that's right,
in
yeah.
his eyes.
Yeah.
So,
That was Plummer's only caveat when he was offered the role. He said yes, but just don't bury me in makeup so I can't act in it. And
Yeah.
so they made sure that this was a Klingon makeup that was very subtle
mm.
and that he could still act in it. And yeah, it looks great.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, he's definitely into piercings.
I like his character. His character, he played it very big, but it's so well worth it.
Just-
his performance, yeah, such a
So
good.
that's what you
Chewing.
need for Klingons. When you got somebody playing a Klingon, because they're supposed to be basically Vikings, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you need somebody with a big personality
Mm.
to do it. You need somebody with some real charisma and
Yeah,
a swagger.
a big stage actor that can sort of fill a room. That's what you want, don't you?
Like
Especially,
Ian
especially when you're
McKellen.
trying to balance with Kirk, for God's
Oh, yeah.
sakes, you know.
Oh yeah,
But I think the one thing I love about this, especially Chang, is all of the menacing double entendre that he in the lines. It is a great, you know, I'm not sure how to take that, you know, with because he's
Sincere
all about
admiration.
battle.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is why I do the
Wanted
subtitles.
to meet you, Captain. Yeah. Great stuff.
Sincere admiration, Kirk.
Yeah.
I felt like Chang needed more films. It's like if it had been the main villain in a trilogy or something, that would have been great.
Yeah, I would like to see more of him as well.
Also, I don't know if you noticed that when he said that line, they had a huge close up of his face, Chang's face, and then they cut to a huge close up of Kirk's face, which tells you that there's that it's not
Something's going to go on.
those words that they're saying. It's more
Right,
you
it's the
know,
double
at the
entendre
end.
that's
Oh, you mean
constantly
this?
going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
which is really well done, because obviously it's a subtle little threat, just a really
Yes.
subtle one.
There's
And so
always
the
a
close-up
layer of
tells
menace.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
the close up tells you. So it's again, you know, the direction.
And in that close up, that makeup just looks fantastic.
it does
really.
it does.
On this
Oh, well done.
4K, on the Blu-ray remaster, yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah. Even though he's trying to be polite, you can tell there's more than that in
Yeah.
his lines. So, very grainy, the film, though.
Yeah, that's one of
I
them
quite like
awkward
it, though.
situations there when you shake hands with them and they try to break your hand. You know the type.
yeah, yeah.
And they,
Sadly,
they
I do.
smile and they say, "Oh yeah, good to meet you, good to see you," and they're trying to break your hand.
Crunch.
And it's only you and them that know. Everybody else is standing there looking.
Yeah.
They don't know
Yeah.
what's going on, and they're having this pissing contest with you.
These are the bad guys, aren't they? Or one of them.
That guy looks like the guy saved me a ticket at the Clapham Junction train station.
It probably is him.
Jeez.
If it was Stratford, I could definitely say it was definitely him.
Yeah.
These are the people in the suits, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they're about to get their orders.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is he Italian on the left? And what's this guy? I don't know, but I guess today it'd be both pure white men, won't it? You can't have anyone else
Oh,
being bad that
Ian.
way. But it's true. That's what they do today. That's what they
It
do.
is.
Yeah.
It's typical.
Mm,
You men have work.
yeah.
Whee! Hey, caramba!
I
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
think we're going to stop there. This is going to take a lot longer, folks.
I
Pick it up.
told you.
I will say,
We
I'll
waffle.
just say, drink, everybody, look at that.
Look at
How
that.
fantastic is that?
Right.
How good is that? Yeah. I think this is going to take longer, folks. Never mind.
That the Mexican ship there looks like it's singing a song.
It does, doesn't it?
Okay. So that is it for part one, folks.
Good
I
old
kind of
shot.
I get the feeling there's going to be like a 5 or 6 week stream here, folks. but
I
never
don't know.
mind.
I think we only come in about 10 minutes short of the end of the first act. So
Yeah. It might be.
We've got
might
the
be.
dinner scene yet.
yes.
Oh,
Might be
that'll be a
painless.
that's an
We've
excellent
got the
one.
dinner scene and the
Plenty to
attack.
chew on in that scene.
Well,
Um,
when we get to the space
and the
prison, it'll probably fly by a little quicker, I reckon.
Yeah.
There's not that much to say about courtroom scenes in space prison.
Here we go. If we're lucky,
Yeah.
6. Yeah.
if we're lucky, see what it is, guys. 2 hours is perfect time, perfect duration for the rewatch, folks.
I
And
think-
plus, I've got a stream tomorrow. I'm just too old to do long stream. I'm sorry, folks. I'm just too old.
Well, you're about a
Too
year
old
older
to
than
do
me.
the streaming.
Yeah, but I'm in charge of the bridge, and I have to like juggle plates, and I'm just too old, folks.
It's like Jack Nicholson, isn't it? In The
Yeah.
Departed. Heavy
Yeah.
lies the crown.
Yeah.
Yes. We will do. Yeah, we'll do Saturdays. We'll keep the Wednesdays and Sundays separate. So yeah, well, as I said, we'll take our time on this because every week we come on here, it's just fucking same old shite, and we need to do stuff we like. So let's
Well,
not rush it.
We have June next week as well. So, you
I
know,
can't wait. I
that's
can't
two
wait.
things that might be very positive. So, you know,
Oh,
God,
question:
It's can't wait.
Is it Dune or Dune?
It's June 5th. I think is what you're worried about, right?
God,
Oh,
I can't.
You know something?
wait.
I just realized something. This, right? We just got through part 1 of a serious film review without mention of Liam Neeson's dong.
oh,
So,
Oh, damn it.
Cheers, mate. Melvin killed it, everybody.
and Jama, how do you think I feel? I'm stuck with this voice. I'm listening to me all the time.
It's Dune. Yeah, I do know it's Dune, but I'm Dune. I can't wait. Anyway, I think that's it, folks. So, chat, I salute you. Wonderful, as always. I will say, common people, beyond generous, my friends. So, chats, we will see you. We're going to be here tomorrow. Don't forget. So I will thank the guests. Let's get them on big, as it were. I'll put Ian there. And I will say, guests, thank you very much. Emperor Godwin. Cheers, Jay.
Oh, it's lovely. I just love actually
Good, wasn't
covering
it?
something that doesn't suck.
Yeah, good, wasn't it?
Yes.
Professor Artoo. Cheers, Prof.
Have we not heard the chimes at midnight?
Well, it's 1 o'clock, mate.
Well, you still got through midnight.
Yeah.
Come on.
This is for you, Melvin. Cheers, Melvin, deeply. Thank you, my friend.
thank you very big, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brune. Nay bother, as we say here.
Great to have you on, mate. Last minute, but he's great, isn't he? Smylexx.
Hey, as they say on Star Trek, nanu, nanu, everybody.
Yeah. And last but by no means least, all that jazz. The Mega Geek. Cheers, Ian.
Yeah, no worries, guys. No worries.
That is it, folks. Remember, we got to slide 150. So that is it. Let me press some buttons. And I will say we're back tomorrow for the depressing shite. So take care, everybody. See you tomorrow. Look after yourselves. Bye-bye.
Tatty bye.